quality, innovation, respect, and integrity. Take steps to invest in your career. International Management Consultancy is the leading global marketplace for learning and instruction, helping professionals across the industry to develop skills and expertise to get recognition and growth in the corporate world. We are one of the leading training providers and gradually spreading our training facility amongst candidates based at different geographies, such as Canada, United States of America, United Arab Emirates, Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Lebanon, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines, India, and many other countries across the globe. IMC is accredited by the highest industry standards. We put in the efforts and we work to prove our commitment to offering our clients only the best and of superior quality. With a uniquely immersive curriculum that combines live instruction from the leading experts, peer-to-peer collaboration, on-demand lessons, unlimited online trainings, and 24/7 learning support, IMC helps over thousands of professionals learn their skills needed to advance their careers and reach their full potential. In line with our commitment to excellence, IMC offers a number of training courses preparing professionals for certifications and exams given by the international associations in areas like management, finance and accounting, human resources, sales and marketing, quality administration, and as well as project management. By fully attending these courses and successfully completing the requirements of the certifying body, participants will receive a special certificate which recognizes their dedication and commitment and in many cases help them earn valuable continuing education credit. IMC Consultants has been working together with their clients from various industries in aligning their people and processes to compete through high speed, excellent quality, and low cost. We strongly believe that the key to our success is our total commitment in delivering value to our clients based on integrity, honesty, and openness. If you are uncertain about which roles or skills are best for you, hurry! Come visit our website or talk to our expert education consultants today. Take a step, invest in your future, empower your knowledge, and be one of our success stories. International Management Consultancy, excellence is what we deliver.
Hey guys, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sean.
Good evening, Shri. Good evening, everyone. Hello,
Good evening, sir.
welcome. Good
Hello,
evening.
hello, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Welcome, people. Welcome for the session on Lean Six Sigma. Somebody is using the dual device. Is there anyone who is using the dual device? Please be on mute because the voice was echoing. Okay, so welcome for this Lean Six Sigma Black Belt program. Welcome everyone. My name is Pankaj and I will be your instructor for this Lean Six Sigma Black Belt program. What we are going to cover, let me start with that and then we'll have a little introduction. I will try and understand your profile so that accordingly I can create the right example. I will be marking your attendance as well because that is what minimum 80% is what we need. So out of 10 session, at least 8 session you will be attending live, and in case you are missing with the because of XYZ situation, so there is a video recording will be available for that. You can watch that. That video recording link, where it will be in the Google Drive, is already shared with my counselor or my admin assistant, so that will be there. So you can save that, and whatever the notes what I'm explaining to you in this Excel sheet, at the end of the day I will be sharing with you through the chat box. Chat box means Zoom chat box. So people who are joining or who joined from the mobile phone, probably they may not be able to access. Why? Because I think Zoom's application does not support sharing the document, but definitely the people who joined from the laptop or desktop, they will be able to download this. I will do one thing, the people, for the favor of the people who are joined from the mobile phone, I will share in your WhatsApp group so that you can access that. Okay. So what we are going to learn in this 10 days of this program, here is the content. We will be extensively learning about the basic concepts of the lean, which is what is the waste, what is the lean, history of lean, what is the 3M we call 8 wastages, how to do the value stream mapping, what are the value added, non-value added business, non-value added activities, Kanban, 5S, Poke, Tag time, and few more. In the predefined stage, we will be understanding what is variation, what is standard deviation, and how variation or standard deviation, basically how we calculate basis on the standard deviation, what is the Six Sigma means, what are the different labels of Six Sigma, different belts and their roles, like is yellow belt, green belt, black belt, or master black belt. We'll be talking about the definition of quality, the difference between defect and defective, how to calculate DPMO, and how do we convert DPMO into the Sigma level of the process. Little bit about the different quality gurus, what are their theories, different quality pioneers, like as what Juran said, what Deming said, what Taguchi said, what said by Crosby, and how do we follow these. What are the different methods, like where the lean will fall, where the Six Sigma will fall, where the PDCA will fall, or where the DFSS will come. Difference between the practical and statistical approach, different methods to follow the DMAP or the lean. Then what's the difference between the efficiency and effectiveness? Then little bit how to understand the customer requirement by the Kano model, and what are the 7QC tool. Then we'll move, after understanding the predefined, we'll talk about the defined phase. In the defined phase, we'll understand first the basics of the ideology or the strategy of Six Sigma, which is Y is equal to F of X. Then we'll understand what is the voice of customer, voice of process, voice of business, or voice of employee. Then we will convert this voice of process or voice of customer into the CTQ, followed by what are the KPIs or key performance indicator, what is we as an acronym we use generally in industry, PQC, DSM. What are the different project selection approach, which is absolutely obvious, or maybe by brainstorming or structured approach, how do we do that? Then we'll go to the main part of the defined stage, which is also called as a backbone of Six Sigma, is your project charter. In the project charter, we'll understand what is problem statement or how do we write that, followed by the goal statement or the business case, roles of the team, stakeholder analysis, different team stages, resimetric, communication plan, SIPOC map, process mapping, and different type of customer. And the another technical thing, from the finance perspective, we will be doing the cost benefit analysis. Here you will be learning about the capital budgeting technique, what is the present value, future value, net present value, internal rate of return, or payback period. Now in the measure phase, your technical part will start where you need a little bit of the number game that will be start playing about understanding the data, different type of data, what are the type of data we have, what is the data collection plan, how to write an operational definition and follow when you are collecting the data. What is the different sampling method we use in Six Sigma, followed by the what are the sample size and how do we calculate that for the continuous and the discrete data. Then we'll be learning about the basics of statistics, where we'll be talking about the descriptive, predictive, inferential, and the prescriptive statistics difference. We'll be doing the central tendency and the variation. Central tendency means what is the mean, median, and mode. Variation means variance, standard deviation, and range. Then how to do a baseline for any of the project. What are the basics of hypothesis? What is null and alternate hypothesis? How do we identify basis on hypothesis? It's a common cause or a special cause, or there is a difference or there is no difference. Then basis on what data we understood here, we will be understanding the different properties of data. Your data may be random or non-random, normal or not normal, independent or not independent. In short, we'll be discussing about the center limit theorem, transformation of the data in case you are getting a not normal data. So how to transform that into the normal by using the Johnson transformation in the box-Cox transformation. We'll be talking about the root cause type. What is the PRC probable root cause or VRC validated root cause and ARC actionable root cause. Then we'll doing the measurement system analysis to validate our data. Either the data comes from the reliable sources or not. This exercise will do for the continuous as well as for the attribute data. Then we'll be checking the process capability for the continuous data as a normal or not normal, or in case data is discrete, then it's a binomial or Poisson. Then we'll be learning about the box plot, and finally in the end of the measure phase, we'll be talking about the yield. What is your classical yield, roll throughput yield, and the first pass yield. Once your data is collected, all the data basic properties understood, then it's come to validate the data with the help of statistics. So statistical analysis, like as what is in hypothesis we do. Again, we'll be talking about in detail about the null and alternate hypothesis. When we make error and how do we classify this is a type 1 error or type 2 error, or say consumer risk or the producer risk. Sometimes we also called as a false negative and false positive. What is the confidence level, margin of error, confidence interval, and p-value? How to take a statistical decision and how do we convert that statistical decision into the practical decision, that we'll be learning. And then we'll be learning the conditional hypothesis test. Here I will be explaining about more than 25 plus of the hypothesis analysis you must have heard about in hypothesis, like as what is null hypothesis, what is alternate, and then one sample t-test, two sample t-test, one-way ANOVA, Mann-Whitney or Moore's median, or many other type of statistical analysis, correlation, regression, logistic regression, chi-square. Those things you will be learning. And finally, we'll have the validated root cause. Once the validated root cause is identified, then we'll move further and we'll identify the actionable root cause, ARC. We'll be developing the implementation plan. We'll be learning about the FMEA, failure mode and risk effect analysis, failure mode and effect analysis for the risk assessment. Technical part, another one, will be having here the multivariate chart followed by the design of experiment, general full factorial, and then I will be explaining about the sum of the prioritization technique, like control impact matrix or cost benefit matrix, or we will be talking about the multi-voting, or we'll be talking about the PUG matrix. In control phase, we'll be developing the control plan. We'll be understanding what is the process control system, what are the control charts, like as IMR chart, X bar R chart, X bar S chart, control C chart, U chart, P chart, and NP chart, and OK. So these are the things that we are going to learn in overall course. Let me take, in case any apprehension question from anyone, you have a different expectation, you heard about something which is at high level is not covered here. So you can suggest me anytime. I will be adding those topics as well into this Excel sheet and I will be covering that. All right. So now let's start a bit of introduction, guys. So definitely I'll introduce myself first and then we'll go ahead. So here I'm marking your attendance as well. What I need, I just need your name when you are speaking, which industry you are working, type of industry. I'm not asking about the organization name, absolutely fine. And what is your role? Why? Because I need this so that I can create the relevant example as per your industry, or any time whenever you feel that, okay, what example I'm giving and that is something you could not understand or you did not understand, you can ask me immediately and I will create some example which is relevant to your industry. All right. So about me, my name is Pankaj Chauhan. I have around 17 years of experience, 17 plus years of experience in industry. A certified master black belt, which I did in year 2012. Practicing Six Sigma, I think for more than around 14, 15 years in my out of total 18 years. And I have a confidence that any question you will ask related to Lean or Six Sigma, I should be able to answer that. That much of confidence I have. So what I would expect from you people, ask as many questions as you want. Whatever the question is coming to your mind, please keep asking and I will be answering all the questions. Now, from the introduction perspective, you please let me know your name, your industry, your role. In case you already have prior experience into Lean Six Sigma, all the training, that will be great. If not, then what is your expectation from this program? So that we are setting up the expectation and accordingly, I will go with this program. So we can start with Anil. Anil, if you're there, can we
Yes,
start?
sir. Yes, sir. I am here.
Yes, sir, please.
Myself, Anil D. Mello. I am working in Abu Dhabi in oil and gas. I have
Okay.
around 26 plus years experience in quality assurance and quality control.
Great.
I am a what is that implementation of ISO 14,001, 18,000, 18, 45,000, 14,000, and this. Regarding Six Sigma, I am very new to Six Sigma.
Okay.
Six Sigma. I don't know anything about Six Sigma. What I am hearing, everything, it is a different terminology, different word. I did not understand what you said all.
Okay.
It is a different alien or a different
Hmm.
product, like.
Hmm.
But I can learn.
Yes, definitely, sir. And believe me, I will be explaining in the simplest way
Yes.
so that
Okay.
easily you can understand.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Hmm? Sure. All right. So what is your expectation? Anything in case you want to share? Something interesting about you?
No, what expect, sir? Now, market is much, what is that, competitive. I am
Right.
having everything. Then people are asking you, do you have Six Sigma, like that? So I joined.
Okay, that's the trigger point.
Example that McDermott company, they selected me and they said, do you have Six Sigma, like that? I said, no, we are expecting that, like that. So I joined Six Sigma.
Oh, that's okay.
It is nowadays in the industry, it is common. Everyone, they are asking, expecting Six Sigma, at least a green belt qualified.
Yes. Why? Because everyone wanted to take their decision based on the data that you are expert in something or your gut feeling will work or your intuition will work. That era is over now. There is a lot of data is available. Everyone want that you should be able to do some kind of data analysis. You will be able to present that and you should be doing or you should be taking your decision based on that data. That was the expectation, so that the people, all these organizations are looking for the somebody who already know how to do the data analysis and take the database decision. That's the
Yes,
reason.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We can go to Mithilesh. You there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening,
Please.
sir.
Good evening.
Myself is Mithilesh Kumar Srivastava, working in a Dabur India Limited. I have
Okay.
more than 25 years experience and
Great.
working in the quality department, QA and QC department. And I have certified in the FSCC. I have worked in the certification of FSCC 22,000, ISO 22,000,
Okay.
and ISO 9001. Yes, sir. I have no any experience of this Six Sigma.
Okay.
And,
Oh,
this is a new policy. And
okay. No problem. You will be learning. Definitely, you will be learning. Mithilesh. Okay. Thank you so much. Abhay, you there? Abhay?
Yes. Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. My name is Abhay Suran Sahi, and I have total 11 plus experience, and I am working in the casting and casting manufacturing as well as machining to automotive parts, and we are supplying to various OEMs throughout the world. To every OEM we are supplying in our India, whatever available, Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, as well the Garrett Advanced Motion, and all the OEMs who are manufacturing of. We are actually the manufacturer of the exhaust manifolds and turbine housings. These are the
Okay.
automotive parts, and it's installed inside the engines of passenger vehicles as well as the commercial vehicles, and marine engineering, marine also. So we are manufacturer of the stainless steel and SGR product by casting as well as the machining.
Okay.
So I have total experience of 11 years, and I have already got the green belt of Six Sigma from our one, I have also the yellow belt of Six Sigma, and I am working in the QMS as well as the customer quality, and also a continual improvement personnel of my team, and I am the leader of that. So that's all about me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So you already have got an experience in Lean Six Sigma. This will be definitely very easy for you to understand.
Yeah, I have done approx 5 to 10 means projects in my this company as well as my previous one.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We can go to Akash. You there?
Good evening, everyone. Hi.
Good evening.
I am
Hello.
Akash Hattiwali,
Hey,
and I
Akash.
work in NAPCO FCCO in an automotive industry. We manufacture ambulances as well as fire trucks.
Okay.
And I'm literally new to this Lean Six Sigma, so I'm hoping for best.
Definitely. So you any specific expectation you have then in case you do not have the experience?
Actually, I know regarding this FMEA as well as control plans.
Okay.
PPAP section. I know regarding PPAP sections.
Okay. Yeah. So 3 things from this IATF. Before it used to be TS 16949. Now it's changed to IATF. So you have the 5 component, which is the PPAP, APQP, FMEA, SPC, and MSA. So you will be learning about FMEA, you will be learning about SPC, and you will be learning about the MSC here. These are the 3 things you are going to learn.
Yes.
Definitely PPAP and APQP is not part of that. Okay. So you said that you are part of the quality function in automotive industry, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Akash.
Thank you.
Ankur, you there?
Yeah, Mr. Pankaj, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, all. Myself, Ankur Agarwal, working in FMCG industries since beginning and having 20+ years of experience. And my expectation is to learn from my dear Pankaj Chauhan and get the certificate of this activity, because all the tools we are using since more than 10 years, but certification is more important. If you have a certificate, then your rating shall be high. That's my thinking.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, because if you have the certification, you have the additional knowledge other than your regular industry job, then definitely if you see about the job opportunities, if you see a kind of market trend, the opportunities for the people who have the additional certificate or the knowledge, they have more compared to the when you are working into your regular kind of job you are doing without any certification. So definitely it creates a difference. Okay. Thank you so much, Ankur. Just for the information, guys, so Ankur and I, we worked together a couple of years back. I remember very well. We worked in one of the FMCG industry, and we worked together. Ankur was my senior there. So we are meeting here. Okay. Can we go to CP Vilasrao?
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hi.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hi. I am Christian Paul Villarosa, and I am currently in a construction company, and I am currently the operations manager, spearheading the telecommunications projects. So the reason why I took this masterclass is for me to expand my knowledge and discipline as a leader of this company, and About the Six Sigma, I am not quite new. Since I came from a semicon company as a product engineer. So the discipline I earned from the semicon is very strict, and I know that taking this master class will significantly help my growth in my career and as a leader for this new industry I've been.
Okay. Okay, great question, Paul. Shall I call you CP or should I write your full name?
Sir, everyone calls me CP.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much, CP. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dinesh, you there?
Yeah, hi sir. Good evening.
Hello. Hi, Dinesh. Good evening.
Thank you, sir. So I am from FMCG industry, and
Okay.
my total experience is of 18 years, but in different field.
Okay.
In FMCG, I'm like 4 years of experience.
Okay.
And I am into supply chain management.
Okay. All right. So what is your expectation, sir? You have any previous experience, Dinesh, on Lean and Six Sigma?
No, sir, there is no experience on this. I'm just reading on YouTube and getting knowledge from the people.
Okay.
And actually, I just switched my job. I'm going to join new company on 20th.
Okay.
Which is again FMCG company, and I'm appointed as senior manager.
Okay.
So I want to like be a role model to my team, so I can lead them with a great examples. So that's why I'm opting this Six Sigma.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dinesh. Dira Khanda, you there? Dira?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Dira. Hello. Dira, I think your network is very weak. We could not hear you.
Hello.
Yes, Dira, your network is weak. I think we could not hear you.
Yes, your network is weak. We could not hear you.
All right, once you have the connectivity, we'll come back. Dira, huh? Just wait for a moment. We can go to Manish. You there? Manish?
Hi, Mr. Pankaj. Good evening.
Hello,
good evening,
good
everybody.
evening. Good evening.
I come from healthcare IT. Basically, I'm a pharmacologist, but you know,
Okay.
after COVID, I was dragged into the healthcare IT industry. Before that, earlier I was working in the quality department. We were using 5S lean stuff, but definitely I did not have any kind of formal knowledge with respect to that.
Okay.
But as my industry has changed, and I was interested also in healthcare IT. So as my industry has changed now, we are using Kanban for sure.
Okay.
That's how the process go on. But you know, it's a process I follow. I do not know in depth of it. So going ahead, I see, like if I proceed further in my career, definitely this Six Sigma would be an asset, as everyone is talking about. So I had plans earlier, but yes, this time I've taken a strong step and moved ahead with it.
Okay.
Right now, my designations have kept changing, so you know it's like what they gave, I've taken it. So as for that namesake, I am a business analyst.
Okay. So you are a
I'm a
business
clinician
analyst now.
turned business analyst. Yes, you can say.
So okay, so it's a kind of healthcare service industry now. Before you was into the operations, right?
Yes, I was into clinical operations earlier, where definitely I was looking after the operations and also the quality part of the implementations of NABH, say JCI, all those. So that was my profile earlier. From a clinician, I was taken into administration. So from administration into this healthcare IT.
All right. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
my expectations out of this course is I just wanted to understand whether any kind of prior knowledge is required in order to proceed with learning here, or is it all open? Is it one shot green and black belt all covered?
It will be all covered, Manish, and I will be taking you through the very, very basic. When you don't have any prior knowledge, then even you can understand it very easily, because I will be not going to the high-fi fundas or something. I will start from the very, very basic, and I'll start from the scratch till the time it goes as a black belt level.
Yeah, that will be so nice of you. It will be
Thank you.
beneficial for all of us. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you so
right.
much.
Thank you so much. Edwin, you there?
Yes.
Hey, Edwin.
Yeah. Good
Hi.
evening,
Good
Pankaj.
evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. So just to start, I'm in the manufacturing industry previously, and I'm a lean practitioner in
Wow.
our organization. Yeah. So basically, my what's this expectation is to understand more the integration between Lean and Six Sigma, because previously we practiced Lean, but more on the practical side. And yeah, I'm interested in having a more detailed understanding on the Six Sigma side.
Great. And you are based out of which location currently, Edwin?
I'm from the Philippines right
Oh,
now.
you are in Philippines. So you are somewhere near Metro Manila or some other places?
Metro Manila.
Metro Manila. Okay.
Yeah, before I was in outside the city called Cavite, a manufacturing area. But recently, I'm now an entrepreneur by profession. So I'm taking this course so that I'd be equipped more with the knowledge, and will be going back to the industry. That's my plan. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Edwin.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Fossil, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Fossil.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Fasil. I work in manufacturing industry. I am the learning and development manager.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been working in the hotel industry before, again as a L&D cluster, L&D manager for multiple properties. Since COVID, I moved to manufacturing, and I've been facilitating different programs, including the 5-phase and lean and all these type of courses. But I have only the tribal knowledge. I do some researches and put together some presentations. But now I thought it's time to take it to the next level, to understand in depth, so I can be able to teach it properly. So I will be intensively participating, and I'll be requesting for some materials and additional support from you. Yeah, that will be my expectation is a little bit higher, basically, because I should be able to teach it in the long term. So that's it about myself. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, Faisal, and I need the high expectation as well. That will help me definitely to push my limits, so that you're welcome, and for sure I won't disappoint you. So I would expect, keep asking the question, keep asking what is your expectation in between as well. If the example, if the theory or something I'm putting up here and that does not qualify your level of expectation, then definitely you ask me the question. I will do this.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Gio, you there?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Hi, Gio. Good evening.
I'm Gio Valenia, and I'm a registered electrical engineer in the Philippines, but I'm currently working as a senior engineer, senior contract management engineer in a power transmission utility. So I manage different types of contract, particularly for transmission line, substation, and interconnection projects such as submarine cables in the Philippines.
Okay.
I'm expecting to learn more on the different approach using this Lean Six Sigma, and I'm also looking forward to learn more on using different statistical tools to improve the process. And I think it will be a great asset for me and of course to my company if I able to apply what I learned here.
Okay, definitely, Gio. So you are also based out currently in Philippines only, huh?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, Gurpreet, you there?
Yeah, hi sir, good evening. This
Hello,
is Gurpreet
good
from
evening.
everybody. Yeah, sir, actually I have worked with Government of India for more than 5 years.
Okay.
And I worked with Sports Authority of India and Fit India Mission also. And I have experience with the IT field, like the development of the mobile application on both the platforms, development of website, and I have worked on the data, like a fitness data of the students from class 1 to 12. And I worked on around 60 lakh data at pan India level. And
Okay.
currently I am working with the fantasy gaming company as a senior associate there. And I'm working on the Fit India quiz as well as the Ultimate Sport quiz. Like I am been working with the sports sector since I have completed my the BTech. Like we are connecting sports with the technical things. So, and I have working as a senior associate currently. And my expectation is to learn more about Lean Sigma so that I can implement all these concepts in my career so that I can get more out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay, Hetam, you there?
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, this is Haytham Hussein. Actually, I'm living in Damascus right now. I'm an oil and gas career.
Okay.
I'm working the senior operation engineer
Okay.
in the wells community.
Hmm.
My experience actually 19 years in oil and gas, and my expectation actually I used to have lean practitioner. And they have done the 2 projects before, and I'm going with the 3rd project. But our company now is moving from the lean to the 6 Sigma capabilities.
Right.
Yeah, I want to be really prepared for that transaction.
All right. Thank you, Hetam. Thank you. Jayaprakash.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, myself Jayaprakash, I work in power sector as an installation specialist.
Okay.
So, I'm having almost 22 plus years of experience. I almost know some sort of lean and other things. So I would like to get a certification because I will be planning to move to Europe countries.
Okay.
So basically, I work for GE. So in our organization, each and everywhere we used to use entire things.
Right.
Still, I need a certification because I'm going as an internal mobility. So for that, I need a third-party certification. That is a purpose. That's the whole purpose. That is my expectation. I came here, and all the best to entire team. Have a good day.
Thank you. So you did not try for the internal certification within the GE?
Yeah, I did it, but still, if I go to as a internal mobility, I'll go to some other Europe countries. So from then and there, I want to switch it over to other organization.
Okay,
so that's a reason, because if I'm going as an internal mobility, I can't able to shoot my family.
Okay.
That is a basic.
So you have to change your organization and then only.
Yeah. For that only, I came for a third-party certification.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Jayaprakash.
Yeah.
Okay. Mari, you there?
Yes, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Pankaj. My name is Marie Angeli. My last name is actually Primero, so that's Marie Angeli Primero. I'm a quality management compliance officer in a government agency here in the Philippines. So I'm doing process improvement audits, quality assessments, and I read a lot about Six Sigma, and with the outline that you have given, I'm expecting to have a lot of takeaways that could help my organization use our data and have a more systematic approach for solving our internal problems, especially those that are recurring ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nikhil.
Hi, sir. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Nikhil Ranjay.
Hi, Nikhil.
Currently, I'm working as a program manager in ClearTax, one of the startups.
Okay.
So it's basically an IT SaaS organization.
Hmm.
I do have an experience in, say, automobile, mostly into sales and marketing and strategic sales planning and operations kind of experience that I take. My expectation in this training is to, like, we do several operations plus planning activities in sales and business side. So we are not structured. So just wanted to learn those structured approach and how can the data and everything can quantify our decisions. So that's why I'm doing this particular training. So that's my expectation from this particular course.
Okay, so let me see, just remind me, Nikhil, in between, in case any of the example which you don't understand and you want me to put the example from the IT or the taxation side, or maybe from the some kind of financial example you want me to put. So just please remind me. I will do that.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Rajesh, you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello. Good evening.
I'm working in textile industry, sir, as a quality inspector. And I have more than 9 years experience in a particular field.
Sorry, what is the industry type you told me?
Textile industry.
Textile.
Industry.
Okay. All right. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. And I have no experience regarding Six Sigma.
Okay.
I want to upgrade my skill and
Okay. All right, Rajesh, no problem. Okay. Sarah, you there? Sarah?
Good evening.
Hey, good
Hi.
evening.
Hi, I'm Sarah Hikarte and I am working in an energy utilities industry.
Okay.
And I work as an electrical design engineer in one of the major distribution company in the Philippines.
Okay.
So my expectation in this in our course is for me to be able to learn some useful techniques and tools that can help me to be more efficient and also to understand more what is Six Sigma. And also I also took this course because I wanted to be more equipped as I grow my career, and of course, and I was also informed that this can also earn me more money.
Okay.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Sri Kumar, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, Sri Kumar Bhaskaran. Okay. Somebody named Tala, you there?
Hi, Sri is actually talking, but he's on mute. So probably he should remove the mute first and introduce himself, and then.
I'm so sorry about that. Hi, I'm Srikumar Bhaskaran. Hello, everybody. Hi, Mr. Chauhan.
Hi, Sri Kumar.
Yeah, I'm working in the healthcare BPO sector as an operations manager.
Okay.
Recently, my company was acquired by Microsoft, and being in the Microsoft teams, so it is that much more important that we do all extra certifications and all that. I've been hearing about Lean and Six Sigma, and so I thought this is the right time to actually get certified. And to be frank, whatever that previous slide that you showed, or the presentation that you had, it was all Greek and Latin to me with all those abbreviations and all that. And I just even thought, am I in the right place? Hope when Dr. Manish did ask some questions, I mean, you were kind of explaining a lot. So I believe it will be a right place for me and I can get through.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Shri Kumar. Tala, you there?
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Tala, and I've been working in banking sector for 16 years, and then I moved into regulations and licensing segment sector in government sector for a couple of years. My core function or role is related to quality and improvement for the services that we provide for the customers. But basically, I work in that through the change in the processes and the business process re-engineering. I've been introduced to Six Sigma many years ago. Unfortunately, I didn't get the certificate officially. I'd gone through the training and then I didn't get the certificate, but I've been working through the Six Sigma and the project management methodologies all these years. Now I need to upscale, have the certificate to tell everyone that I know what I know and I know what I'm doing. You know, having the certificate will tell people that I know what I know.
Okay.
And I'm looking up for the black belt because, you know, it's time to move from taking part of a project to handling projects full A to Z. In addition to, as many of the colleagues mentioned, that in the Excel sheet that you presented earlier, you've been mentioning specific points that these are the ones that I'm interested into going through.
Okay.
Instead of doing it myself, I thought that joining such training will add the knowledge, will add the networking and everything else. So
Definitely.
this is what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Okay. So you are currently based out of which place?
I am Jordanian living in United Arab Emirates.
Oh, okay. You are in AU. All right, Tara. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Tejal?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Tejal.
So currently I'm working as a quality manager and senior metallurgist. Basically, I have total 8 years of experience in manufacturing as well as a testing industry for materials, different automotive, as well as in the heat treatment plant.
Okay.
So my expectation from these schools is to get knowledge for the Six Sigma, because I just have the awareness of the control charts and not more than that. So I want to get more clarification about the Six Sigma and certified course. Thank you.
Okay. So you are a chemical engineer or metallurgical engineer?
Metallurgical.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. And is there, Dira, can we go back to you if your internet connection is still...
Excuse me. My name is missing, sir.
Yes, hello, sir. Just a moment, Dira. Maz, M-A-A-Z. Yes, Maz. Yes, please.
Yes, sir, my name is also missing, sir.
I will be adding, sir, one by one, please. Let's continue with the Maz.
Oh, so I am Maz Bahuddin. I am a QA/QC mechanical engineer, currently working in a pump manufacturing company in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Before I was in a construction company. I have switched from construction to manufacturing.
Okay. So what is your expectation, Maz?
I expect to get certified in Lean Six Sigma Green Belt plus Black Belt.
Okay, and from the knowledge perspective,
from the knowledge perspective, I want a complete knowledge and so that I can give my best to my company.
Okay, all right.
Basically, this is all new to me. The previous slide was all new. I could not catch up.
Okay, you will understand that. Let me start, then you will automatically start understanding all these things. Okay, thank you so much, Maz. Yes, sir. Whose name is missing?
Yes, sir. This is Prasad. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Prasad. Good evening.
Yeah. Basically, I am from mechanical engineer, sir, by profession. I am working for 3 years in manufacturing and currently working in FMCG in UAE.
Okay.
In our supply chain. Basically, I am gone through some lean tools, sir, in my previous company, just like 5S Kaizen and Kanban. But I want the knowledge of Lean Six Sigma deeply, because I know the practically how we can install it. That I know, and how I can utilize in process improvement and all things. That's the main motive for Lean Six Sigma, sir.
Okay. All right. Definitely you
Hello,
can say
sir.
more.
Also, my name is missing.
Your name is?
Zainab.
Z-A-I-N-A-B.
Yes.
Yes, Zainab.
Yes, this is Zainab Al-Hadrami. I'm from Oman. I'm working as a quality management manager in medical labs, medical laboratories.
Okay.
I was in a hospital lab, but then I was shifted after 10 years to quality, and then I spent 12 years now in quality assurance department. I'm looking forward to learn in depth regarding the Six Sigma, especially the statistical part, and implement what I can learn also practically in our department, especially in stock management, and can also lead and be an instructor. Why not?
Definitely.
And work with your institute also.
Sure, sure, Zainab. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Is there any other name I'm missing, guys, from here? Dira, you can go ahead, please.
Yes, I'm here. You can hear me now?
Yes, now it's much better.
Hello?
Yes, please, much better.
All right. Yes, my name is Kanda. I'm currently in the health industry, but I'm working in a medical laboratory as a quality officer.
Okay.
So I've been working for the past 3 years in the quality department. So yes, I thought I should take up on Lean Six Sigma. Reason being that I'm currently working on a project, manufacturing project. So being the chief operations officer and being tasked with seeing that all the implementation and overseeing of quality processes and all that, I really need the certification to be able to see it through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kanda. Okay, thank you so much. Is there anyone else I'm missing here from my list? So total number is 25, including me is 26. So is there anyone who joined from the 2 devices, or his name is still I did not call? Just wanted to check. No? All right.
I think
yes.
I have 2 devices.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, Prasad, you want to speak something?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please tell me.
Sir, role you have mentioned as supply chain, sir. You have written FMCG.
Prasad, manufacturing and supply chain. Sorry. Thank you so much for correcting me. Okay. All right, guys. So
yes,
we'll
one
start. Yes,
from
please.
my side.
Yes, please.
Yes, Abhay Shahi. Its a role is I am the management representative in quality management system.
Okay.
The quality management system, and I am also the lead auditor of IATF 6949 and 69 ISO 14001 4501 also.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you are a MR for the organization. Perfect. So we have total number of people are 25 in this batch. Great. All right, guys. So as I was telling you, anyway, attendance part is done, introduction is done. Thank you so much. And this is what the content we have for. So I have 2 options to start with. Either I can make you understand the lean first, or I can make you understand Six Sigma first. So what is your choice? From where we want to start? Shall we start first with the lean,
My
or shall we
suggestion
start
with the Six Sigma, because Six Sigma was first and then lean was introduced later with the agile later, right? So Six Sigma is the base and the lean is second.
If you talk about the history, so lean come much before than Six Sigma, as far as I know.
you decide.
We can go lean first, sir.
Lean,
It is
okay.
possible.
No, it's possible to me. It's all depends on how means you people wants. You want to understand lean first, or you want to understand Six Sigma first? That's what I wanted to. I was just asking you people your views. Many people will say, okay, it doesn't matter. We don't know lean. We don't know Six Sigma. Whatever you will start with, we will digest that. But yes.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Let's start with lean, and then we'll go to the Six Sigma in this case. What is the lean, guys? Lean, you must be knowing the simple English meaning. Leans mean thin. Generally, when you are speaking to someone and then person is very thin, you will say, oh, how lean you are. We say like that. So now you understand the lean means is the thin, and that's what exactly applies to the process. Let me give you a situation. So one more thing I wanted to tell you guys, if you are expecting, I will be showing some presentations and I will be explaining you through the notes, and also probably that is what I'm not going to fulfill your expectation. My approach is completely practical. Whatever I listed here, each and everything I will be explaining you with the practical example and on this simple Excel sheet. I generally don't use any presentation in my training program. So whatever is listed here, I will be explaining you each and everything practically. All right. But presentation will be shared with you. Whatever the course material, the backup material is there. I can share you a couple of books as well, which is the soft copy I have, or I can recommend you to read some of the books. So do that. But how Lean and Six Sigma will work, that you will be understanding each and every concept here practically. So let's understand the lean, and one of the let's start with the brain teaser. If I ask you guys, let's say I have two people in my team. This is the person one, or let's say this is the person two. And you have one data point for these. You are having, let's say, 1 mile of race. Person one, you have only one data point, which is the height of this person. And the height of first person is, let's say, it's 6 feet and 2 inches. Other person, let's say it's 5 feet and maybe 7 inches. On this 1 mile of race, what is your general assumption? Who is going to win that race?
Person first.
Person one. Okay. Anyone have any different thought? No. So person one will win. Why?
No, sir, it depends. Can I?
You can take longer strides.
Yes. Person will take the longer steps, or because the person is taking the longer steps, so that means he will cover more distance in less effort, which means the output or the productivity will be more in our industry language. That's how the person one will win. I add one more data point here. Let me add, and that is the weight of each of them. The person who is for 6 feet and 2 inches, let's say weight is around 122 kg. And the person two, which is the 5 feet and 7 inches, weight is around, let's say, 66 kg. Do you still carry the same assumption that person one will win, or you change your assumption?
Now the assumption will change, sir.
Okay, and what is the new justification?
Person two, sir.
Now the person two will win. So what does change here?
Because he can easily bear his weight, sir.
The fitness.
But also the weight is in proportion with his height. So person one still have
his BMI is I think maybe.
Sir, it totally depends upon person to person. That like if person one has a more agility than person two, then the person one will burn.
Chances are there, and that's how whenever you talk about the statistics, the people who already understand statistics always works at the 95% confidence level. In case anyone who already know a little bit about the statistics, so 5% is always the chance. But generally, when you talk about as in high level or as a general assumption, our assumption as a layman is always there. When the height is more, then the chances of winning is more. But at the same time, this height, what the God has gifted you, is your designed capacity. You have been designed in such a way that your height is more, you will be winning. But what is your actual capacity? Actual capacity depends on your how much is the weight you have gained. So my design capacity, if I'm a 6 feet and 2 inch height person, that means God has gifted me, and there is a chance if the people who are less than my height, which means I should be winning over them. But I did not utilize, or I do not utilize my gifted height or my design capacity. I accumulated so much of the weight on my body that my design capacity is not performing as the expectation. Because of the additional weight, which I am carrying, whatever the technical language you was talking about, the BMI and all, because of that, I am not able to utilize my designed capacity. Why? Because I am carrying the excess weight, which has no use in my body. Anyone, suppose if you see the person has the excess weight, tell me one benefit of that the person is utilizing that benefit, means the excess weight anywhere. Probably no. So this excess weight which our body is carrying in lean, this is exactly called as an waste. Why? Here is my design capacity. God has gifted me a height that I should be winning, but I am not able to win. Why? Because I am carrying the excess weight, which is more than needed. So whenever anything which is more than needed is called as an waste. What is the waste? Lean is all about, as a lean practice, lean is all about elimination of the wastages. So it's our responsibility when we are a Six Sigma practitioner or the lean practitioner, we should be able to identify the waste in industry immediately, whichever the process we are following, right? So my weight, my body is designed to win, but I am not able to win, which means my body is designed to perform, or my process is designed to perform. But at the end of the day, we see, okay, my process did not perform as expected, or my process does not perform as it is designed. Why? Because definitely there is some leakage somewhere, and that leakage is your waste. There is a somewhere we are wasting our effort. There is somewhere we are wasting our energy. There is a somewhere I am cutting down my efficiency. Why? Because there is a waste present in my process. So what's the objective of lean implementation? There are a couple of people who already know the lean here. Objective of the lean, or objective to implement the lean, is that you should be cutting down the waste from your process. Waste, here I gave you an example. Waste is anything which is more than needed, which has no use. But we are following that, we are having that because we never tried or we never recognize. And many of the industries are suffering because they have lot of the waste, but the people do not recognize. So that's what this Lean and Six Sigma program is, and the people will understand the definition of the waste. So when you go tomorrow to the industry, you will definitely be able to see something which is not adding any value. Does this excess weight, when the person is at 6 feet 2 inch height, ideal condition, or maybe as per the BMR, maybe the weight should be around somewhere 86 or 87 kg, or maybe 90 kg. So 90 to 122 kg, which is the 32 kg extra. Is this adding any value anywhere to the person? No. Answer is no. This means this is just a waste. And whenever anything which is more than needed, which is not adding any value, that's the waste is there. Objective of lean. What is the lean objective?
Removing non-value added things.
Yeah, lean objective is to cut down this waste. Cutting down this waste means you are removing the non-value added activities. I will come to that as well. What is the non-value added or value added? Lean, you will call a lean when you are thin, right? Thin means you don't have any extra weight, which means the similar way your process should be thin, which means your process should not have any extra waste or extra weight. Any process you do, suppose we are in this learning process, we started this session. How much is the actually value add I did till now? We are almost 1 hour over. And we just started speaking maybe in the 10 minutes before, or maybe 7 minutes before. So if I calculate your total time, we spent 60 minutes. And out of this, I was able to add value to you people only 7 minutes. So the value added time, you have 7 minutes. Total time, you have 60 minutes. So what is my efficiency? How much time I really utilized? I just utilized time out of this 7 by 60, which means my efficiency is only 11%. Is this the right efficiency for any of the lean practitioner or Six Sigma practitioner wanted to work? Definitely no. I have a lot of opportunity. How much is the opportunity still there, which I can increase? Approximately 88% more I could have done. So what is the lean? Lean means utilizing the designed capacity of any process to the optimum level, which means cutting down the waste, cutting down unnecessary thing, whatever we are practicing in the industry. Any industry you take, when you are waking up in the morning, going to office, how much is the actual effort you are putting that you will should be getting ready? In between, okay, where is my pant? Where is my tie? Oh, I did not see my shoes. Oh, my shoes is not polished. Okay, oh, I'm waiting for the vehicle to come. I'm unnecessary 10 or 15 minutes here. Oh, it's raining. I cannot go office. So many of the things that you will see. All these things, whatever I just stated, just named, none of them is adding any value to your effort, what you are really putting to go to the office. And there are lot many example in any industry. You are going for a meeting, and just for the one person who did not join, who's the moderator of the meeting, there are other 10 people are waiting. And if the 10 people are, each one is waiting for the 5 minutes, means overall 50 minutes you was wasting there for the 10 people, including. So lean means cut down the waste, cut down the things which is not adding any value to your business, your work, means cut down the things which is not adding any positive impact to the efficiency of the process. That is what the definition of simple word is, the lean meaning is that. Before I proceed, let me take the question first, in case anyone have any apprehension who did not understand what is the meaning of lean. No? Okay. So now,
Pankaj sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
When there is a process or an organization, something big, so how do we define a design capacity for that whole process?
Then I will be telling you about the efficiency. Just wait few more minutes, Manish, and we'll be coming to that.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So when you go for the lean implementation, there is a 5-stage process or 5-step process. One of my friend was telling that we go through the 5-step process. And what is those? Can somebody tell me? Those 5 steps are, first and foremost thing is to identify the value. Identify the value means we should be knowing very, very clearly that what my customer want. You are part of this training. I'm the trainer and you all are my customer. So if I want to implement a lean process or I want to perform in a way lean, then I should be knowing what exactly you want. If you will say that I need training, yes. You will ask, I need certification. You will ask, I need knowledge. You will say, I need example. You will say, I want to implement the Lean and Six Sigma in my process. So I should be having that orientation at least so that I can go to my industry and I can implement. So I understand. These are all the things what my customer want. If I am able to deliver to you, that means I am adding value. An objective of lean is that when you are adding value to your customer, that's what your process is lean. If I say here in this last 60 minutes and 7 minutes only we spoke about the productive thing. So how much is the value I added? I just added the value around 11% to your business or 11% to your time. While you spent the 60 minutes with me, but only 7 minutes was productive out of that. 83% of the time we have wasted. So we should be increasing this efficiency more and more and more by cutting down the wastage. So whatever the activities we have done, those activities should be productive. Those activities should be lean. Those activities should be adding value to you. which means what my customer want, you need the learning, you need the example, you need the knowledge. So I should be speaking about that instead of talking about the XYZ thing. So identify the value means understand first from the customer perspective what exactly your customer need from your process and try to deliver that. Once you understand what your customer need, then we'll go to the second stage. Second stage means map the value stream. Map the value stream means you need to understand as is process. If you understand what your customer want, so in as is process, how you are delivering those value what your customer is asking you. Currently, I am delivering, okay, I'm starting with the introduction part. I'm starting with the IMC slide. I'm talking about myself. I'm hearing you people, and then I'm making you understand about the lean. Is there any possibility that I cut down the things which did not add any value about you? Maybe I should have taken the name before only from the registration form. I could have down all these names. Probably I would have taken your profile as well, whatever you filled. So we may not need an introduction. So I need to understand the as is value. And when I understand in as is value, what are the things which did not add any value to the work, whatever we have done, which means it went waste. Then we will be, after doing this, we should be looking for to be process. Means if current process look like A, then how the B process, which is the to be process, I should be designing, or how it should be looking for, how the process will look like, that is called as an establish flow. Establish flow. So here is the process when you have the map the value stream and establish the flow, which means you have the as is process and to be process. In between as is and to be, when you are doing the study, okay, as is I'm performing in this way, to be should be in this way. In between you will be identifying three type of things which you're doing here between the as is and to be. Those three type of things we call as an either you are doing something value add, or non-value add, or necessary non-value add. VA stand for value added, which means we are doing the activity what my customer want. What my customer want is called as in value added activities, which is adding value, which means the things what I am doing value added, I will classify only to the things what my customer is paying for or is ready to accept. Not any other XYZ thing which my customer will say, okay, this is going waste. That is no use of me. Second, non-value added, which is just opposite to the value added, which means there are many things in the process which is not adding any value, which means my customer is not at all ready to pay that. You will say, okay, no, Mr. Pankaj, we no need introduction. You start the session and let's go ahead. I'm here to learn, not to hear about what people are doing and what their profiles are, right? Give me the example, give me the content, and let's discuss that. So those things which is not at all adding any value, those are called as a non-value added activities. Many of the things will be in between. Some of the things are not adding any value, but those are necessary as well. Those are not unnecessary. Maybe we are doing the introduction for some purpose I was doing. That means I was collecting the portfolio data. I was collecting the expectation so that in the way, the pace or the understanding the example or the industry we can relate and I can create the right example, which is needed for me, may not be needed for you. And I'm the process owner, so that I will be looking for, yes, those things are not adding any value. Sarah, can you go on mute? But those are necessary for my business. So NNVA is called a necessary non-value added. So when you have the as is process, you understand the as is process, and from the as is process, we will try to find out these three type of activities. Actually, each and every activity, when already you have done the value stream mapping, map the value stream. In this means understanding the process, map the value stream means understanding the as is process. And then you will be marking Whichever the activity you will find, you will be marking either it's a value add or non-value add or necessary non-value add. We identified in my business what is the total activities. Out of those activities, I have classified as well that this is adding value, this is not adding value, or this is not adding value, but this is necessary. Without that, I cannot move to the next step. So what to do with these activities? You people must have heard about something called OEM. Anyone knows that? Not the original equipment manufacturer.
Original equipment manufacturer.
Note that. It's a lean language we call. So whatever the value added activities you have, we always try to optimize them. Optimize mean them, they are value added. They are adding value, right? So we cannot do anything. We can only try to squeeze them more and more to give the more and more efficiencies. So try to get the maximum efficiency from the each and every activity at the optimum level. So do optimize all these activities. If we have taken the introduction part around 45 minutes, I could have easily saved 15 minutes. So I will try to excuse this part to 30 minutes so that 15 minutes I can save, which means I'm increasing the efficiency or I'm leaving more time to discussion. I'm trying to optimize. If you are making a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, which you are spending 10 or 15 minutes, how you can optimize that you will get the same taste, what you are expecting, but in the less minutes, so that you can optimize your time. All right. Now, what to do with the non-value added activities?
Eliminate.
Eliminate. Perfect. Eliminate all the non-value added activities, because non-value added is not adding any value. They are just waste. Like as what is the non-value added here? This weight, excess weight is non-value added. So if I would have removed this excess weight, I would go as per my BMI rate. Probably I would be using my designed capacity and definitely I would be winning the race. But I lost the race, though I was more capable. Why I lose the race? Because there was a excess waste here. I was not able to utilize my design capacity because there is a non-value added things, which means the weight carried by my body. So eliminate all these non-value added activities, whatever you have. Now we have done value added, non-value added. What to do with this necessary non-value added? Because I know I cannot eliminate them. And I know this is not adding any value as well.
You manage.
Can we reduce it?
Yes, reduce means minimize. Absolutely.
Minimize? Okay.
Minimize, OEM means optimize, eliminate, and minimize. This is what we do with the value added, non-value added, and the necessary non-value added activities. Generally, we use the scale red, amber, and green. So all the non-value added activities are red, which means those activities must be eliminated. They are not at all adding in value. Minimize means amber color, and optimize means these are the green activities. So try to get the maximum output of that. So we identify the value first. Basis on that value, we will understand as is process where and all we are creating the value. Mark them green. Which are the where and all we are not creating any value, which is not at all adding any value. Mark them red. There may be some activities which is not adding any value, but you cannot eliminate. So then try to minimize them as in yellow. Then you will have the to-be process. Once the to-be process is designed, you have the already as is process. All these three activities are there. Then basis on these optimization, elimination, minimization, you have designed the to-be process. What is the next step you will do? You will be implementing the just in time, which means implement pull. Implement pull means what you need and when you need in the right quantity at the right time in the right amount, that should be available. Nothing less, nothing more, nothing before, nothing after. Right time in the right amount. That is what we call as in just in time, JIT. Very, very popular concept introduced by Toyota. Then we'll be implementing the just in time. Because Six Sigma is a continuous improvement process, right? So we always look for the opportunities. That means the fifth stage in the lean implementation, or the last stage, will be seek perfection. Seek perfection. These are the 5 stages of the lean implementation. These are the 5 stages we call in the value stream mapping, value stream analysis, process health analysis, whatever the synonym you want to use, you use it. Ultimate objective is going through these 5 stages to identify first what exactly you want to deliver from this, or what your customer is paying for. Then, as per the customer expectation, understand how you are delivering as of now. Then you will find many of the ups and downs in the process, many of the things which you are not delivering as per the customer expectation, right? That means then design your process that what your customer is expecting, and find out the gap between as is and to be, which means your current level of the process, how you are delivering versus what your customer is expecting. And you will find that gap, and you will classify that gap into 3 categories. Either you are doing as per the customer expectation. If you are not doing, that means what is something not at all adding any value, or what is something is not adding value, but you cannot eliminate that as well, which means try to minimize. So these 3 type of activities will be doing. Then you will implement the pull, means now you will implement what is your established to be process is there, try and implement in the form of what my customer need, when they need, and how much they need, which means just in time. Because you are the people who are coming up from the different background. For me, the just in time meaning, right? And I start bombarding you with the statistical concept, and I start giving you the funda on the lean. Definitely for the big things, there are many things in the lean. The people who don't understand the lean, how they will understand what exactly the lean? If you start talking about that, that will not be the just in time. That will not be the right amount of the information which I am passing. If I am not passing the right amount of information, excess information I am passing, that will go for the waste. Yes, I will pass all these information when you understand the basics. And then find out an opportunity every day, every time. Yes, if I am performing this activity, is there still a gap? Is there still a leakage? Answer is yes. Then fill that gap slowly by applying different techniques, which you will be learning slowly. Let me take a pause and ask a question. Are we going good understanding what is the waste? How to identify the waste? What to do with these waste of activities, all these 5 steps of this? Is this good understanding, or is there any gap which you people feel and which I should take care, or I must take care?
It's all clear, but I just want to ask one question.
Yes, please.
Okay, so my question is, with your example, we spent 60 minutes. Out of that, 53 minutes was, which is, what do you call it? It's not like the activity that we wanted to do, but we have 7% of, 7 minutes or 12% of efficiency in our exercise, which is value added in our exercise. So my question is, how do I justify if that really add value in terms of minutes, in terms of the amount of time we spend, and the total efficient time? Of course, it's clear. But my question is, I don't know if I'm putting it in the right frame, but how can I justify if those 7 minutes were value added to everyone? Because somehow, we need to go in depth to understand these values, because I have these challenges. I have a very good training hours with my employees. Then they spend like 3 hours of learning every month. But sometimes this question comes from the management saying that, okay, what value did it add to the process, to our work, and our product? So is there any answer for this? Just maybe you can
enlighten
me.
if we take the example from your industry only, then what are the value added or what work hours you have added as in value to your business? Is that from the perspective of the customer? Say, if we take the example, these 7 minutes, which I'm telling, it's a value added. And now this 7 minutes has been increased to almost approximately 30 plus minutes. Whatever I was explaining you in the last 30 minutes, did you feel that it is adding value to you from the customer perspective? If answer is yes, that you feel, yes, we started learning. In the first 50 minutes, we did not learn anything because we were going through the introduction. But the last 30 minutes, we have learned a lot of the things. We understood what is the lean. That means if my customer is recognizing that, that is a value add to me. If my customer itself is saying, no, that Evan doesn't add any value, you was supposed to explain the lean and I was supposed to understand the lean, but I didn't add anything in this. If you did not get anything, that means it's non-value add completely. Whatever the work, whatever the effort I made, that go for a waste. Because important here in the lean implementation that my customer must recognize. If I'm delivering something, if customer is recognizing this is a value add, then yes, it's a value add. If customers say, no, it's not a value add, I did not learn anything, I did not recognize this as a value, that means it's a non-value add. It's a customer perspective.
Okay.
Any further question on this, guys? No? Okay.
No,
great.
sir.
So now, when you talk about these non-value added and you have to eliminate, actually these non-value added activities, what you have, we further classify into 3 categories. What are those? Anyone? These 3 categories are 3M. 3M, again, it's a Japanese word which we use. It's called as an Muda, Mura, and Muri. These non-value added further classified into 3 activities, which is Muda, Mura, and Muri. Muda means it's a pure waste. This waste is a further classification into 8 categories. I will be explaining, which we call as an TIMWOODS, as an acronym or abbreviation we use as in TIMWOODS. Give me a moment. I will be going to that TIMWOODS. Mura means variation in the process, which will be the next topic once we understand the waste, because waste elimination we learn in the lean, while the variation elimination we learn in Six Sigma. And now Muri means overburden. Overburden means when you are forcing something to do, but its the capacity is not at all. Suppose I am training you in the lean and Six Sigma, and you will start asking me, okay, I come from the IT industry, can you do the coding for me? Or there are electrical engineers, they will ask me, okay, can you install the transformer? Or there are many other people and they will start asking me, okay, you have to do this job. So actually you are forcing me to do the things which I am not good at. So whenever the things comes in our way, like that you are not able to create the efficiency, you are not able to create the effectiveness. Muri means overburden. Overburden means like as you are asking for anything which is the capacity is not there, capability is not there, or many other things. Let me ask you. I give you an example. Many people, most of the people will be right-handed, but is there any of the left-handed person in the group? If you try to write your name with the dominant hand, dominant hand means if you are a right-handed person, write your name with the right hand. If you are a left-handed person, you write your name with the right hand, the left hand. And you try to exchange the hand and then write your name on the piece of paper. Will you be able to deliver the same efficiency?
No.
Probably no. Though God has gifted you both the hand, you are eating the same food. You are getting the same energy, which is equally distributed all across the body. But still, you see there is a difference in the left and the right hand efficiency. Why? Because the process is not designed in such a way. And when you are forcing, when your machine capacity to deliver the 100 product per hour, and you are asking machine to deliver the 110 product per hour, unrealistic expectation, which is not balanced expectation. So the Muri means Muri means implementing the balanced expectation in simple word if I say. How much what you are expecting from the machine, your machine should be able to deliver that. If machine your expectation are too high, then the machine actual capacity is not there. That means machine can't deliver. And the same applies to people as well. So Muri means overburden. Overburden means you are forcing something to do which is not at all needed or not at all you can say that it's not performable, it's not workable. That's what called Muri. If you ask, let me say the question that Mike asked Mike Tyson, and you ask him to sing like a pop star, maybe any of the pop star, probably he cannot sing, and neither a pop star can do the fighting in the like a Mike Tyson or boxing. So everyone have a design capacity. Every process has a design capacity, and you cannot force any process to perform what is coming from your mouth or your mind. That's what the Muri means. So let's understand the process in a way, what my process is meant for. What is the capacity of my process, and expect according to that. That is what we call as a Muri. Muri means load overburden. Overburden means do not force anything to perform until unless the person capacity or the machine capacity or the process capacity is not designed for. So these are the three things you call as an which we have to eliminate. So variation we will understand later. First, let's understand the waste. Waste we already understand, anything in excess. So we use the acronym TIMWOODS. TIMWOODS means, it's a acronym. These are the 8 letters. And generally we say in industry we have the 8 wastages. Those wastages are T stand for the transportation. Is this transportation is a waste in the industry? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
How?
Transportation, sir, unnecessary movement of material we are doing again and again for the same process. This is the waste of transportation.
I will say anything.
It needs cost, time. The time is also cost. It needs FTEs, people who's going to do the transfer. So it's at the end of it, there is time wasted, cost wasted, and FTEs time wasted.
See, here we were talking about the overburden. Your process is designed in such a way that need a transportation. Your process is designed in such a way that need the inventory. But whenever they are in excess, then only you will call them as waste. If they are already optimized, that means they are not waste. Suppose you are working in a process, you are looking for a vendor, vendor is supplying you the raw material, and the vendor is from the 5 kilometer and 500 kilometer away. And 500 kilometer away, if the vendor is there and you are paying the freight and the logistic charges for that, you can consider as an waste only when you do not have any source who can supply you in the less price before the 500 kilometer. Maybe that's a specialty material, and you understand that before the 500 kilometer, you will not have any vendor who can supply that. So can you call this as an waste?
No.
When you don't have any option, so then it's not a waste. But yes, there is a vendor which is the 500 kilometer away. There is a vendor which is 100 kilometer away. But still you are buying from the 500 kilometer away, and the per kg or the per kilometer cost you are additionally paying. That is the waste, I will say. So that, yes, please.
So that means unnecessary movement, we can
unnecessary. Say waste means anything which is in excess. Everything, there are so many activities we are doing in the industry, right? But every activity, otherwise if I go for the transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, or production, over processing, I will be able to justify everything is not a waste or everything is a waste. But you will call it waste, you will recognize this as a waste only when this is more than needed or in excess than the expectation. As the last example I was telling you, that the vendor is 500 kilometer away and the another one is 100 kilometer away. Suppose you do not get any vendor before the 500 kilometer away. So will you stop taking the material from him or here all that vendor? Probably no. If the same person is 2000 kilometers away, still you will not stop taking the material because you don't have any option. When you don't have any option, will you stop your running your industry? Answer is no. So recognize is the waste. Everything you cannot call as in waste. You have to recognize it. What exactly the waste in the industry? If you'll say that 500 kilometers, there is a distance and I'm spending so much in the transportation, so I will call as in waste. And before the 500, you don't find any option and you will shut down your industry because there was a waste in my industry. No. So recognize the right waste in the right amount at the right time at the right place. Lean means that everything in the right quantity at the right time at the right place. That's what the lean is. Similar way in the inventory, just give me a minute, guys. Similar way is the inventory. What is the inventory? Is this everything is the waste what we are buying? When you are producing 2 ton or 3 ton of the production material, or maybe you are working in the customer service and you are receiving hundreds and thousands of the email, hardly you are able to process 20 or 25% on the every day. This means you will stop buying the inventory of the raw material, or this means you will ask your customer, okay, my today's quota is over, I will not be taking your inventory. Any of the query or question you should be asking tomorrow? Probably no. Probably no. Otherwise, you will be losing your customer base. You will be losing your credibility in the market. So you cannot stop. But inventory is a waste. So anything which is in unnecessary or excess, it's a waste. So when I talk about this example I was giving you about the asking your customer to stop, you cannot do. You are receiving hundreds and maybe 120, 130 emails per day. Your capacity is only 20 and 30. But for the customer satisfaction, you, instead of reducing the inventory, in such cases, you should be increasing your efficiency or increasing your capacity. If you cannot do by your alone, increase the resources. Even the resources can't do the automation. So instead of reducing the inventory, you should be working in such cases to increase the efficiency. Then you will be eliminating the wastages. So whatever the escalations are coming from the customer, whatever the mails are bouncing, whatever the things remains unanswered, you can cater that, and then your customer satisfaction will go up. All right. Now the third thing is there, motion. Motion means unnecessary movement of the pupil and the material. So when you say transportation, in the simple classification, transportation is again unnecessary movement of the machine, material, or whatever, shifting of the material. But generally we consider transportation is outside the organization. When you are doing shipping of something from one place to other place. While the motion comes within the organization, when you are on the shop floor, when you are on the production floor, when you are in office, and then you are doing the unnecessary motion or movement of the pupil or the material, that we should cut down, that we categorize in a category of the motion. Let's say you are sitting on the ground floor. Your entire team, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the number of people are in your team, everyone sits on the ground floor, and your manager is sitting in the manager's floor, which is on the 4th floor. And your manager wanted to have a meeting with you, and 2 times in a day, the manager is having meeting with the 10 people who are sitting on the ground floor. And manager is asking every time each of them, all these 10 people, to come to the 4th floor to have a meeting. Consider just 5 minutes you are taking to go and come. But it is happening in 2 times, which means 5 into 2, 10. And this is happening for the 10 people, which means 10 into 10, 100. So one person who could have just 10 minutes could have spent 5 minutes for the first meeting, 5 minutes for the second meeting. When the person could come to the ground floor and meet all of you. Instead of that, manager is asking 10 people to travel to the 4th floor. So where you can just 10 minutes you can spend as an waste in the motion, which should be cut down, but your manager is asking you to waste 100 minutes instead of 10 minutes. So 90% is the pure waste, which we can cut down in the motion. Similar way, there are many things. If your organization does not allow you to have any snacks, tea, cup, coffee, or maybe because there are many industries, especially in the FMCG or especially in the pharma industry, that you have to maintain the GMP. There is a genuine reason. But what about the automobile industry? People are telling, okay, no, you cannot have the tea or coffee on the floor. You have to go to the 500 kilometers away from the production floor. Then you will go to the cafeteria. You will have your cup of coffee and then you will come back. Where is the logic in this? People are here from the automobile as well as from the FMCG industry. I understand FMCG, you has a GMP requirement, you have the FDA requirement, you cannot do, which is a legal requirement, and you cannot bypass any legal requirement to cut down the waste. That you have to live with that waste. But what is the logic in the automobile industry that you cannot have a cup of tea on the floor? You are not FDA certified. You are not giving any compliance to FDA or any of the legal requirement. So before we say that inventory is there, transportation is there, motion is there, maybe those things are necessary. And the waste means anything which is unnecessary, we have to cut down. Just do not go when you go for the lean implementation in your organization. Just don't go with the word. Okay, here is the transportation, let's cut down. Here is the inventory, let's cut down. Here is the motion, let's cut down. Let's first recognize that is really we should cut down. Well, this is what the minimum level we need. That much only we are maintaining. And the best example for the inventory of the motion you see in your kitchen. Do you really buy, let's say inventory I'm talking about, fruits or vegetable for if you are today, you are getting at the maybe $1 per kg or maybe $2 per kg you are getting. Are you going to buy those fruits or vegetable for the 1 year like because today they are so low rate I'm getting? No, the things comes with the shelf life. If the things are coming with the shelf life, you understand that fruits will not survive for more than 2 days. Probably vegetable won't survive for more than 3 days. And then they won't be fresh. You cannot eat them. So why to invest that money into that then when it's you can't use at all? That means inventory should be as an optimum level. Motion means, let's say you are making a cup of tea. Go to the kitchen and the simple answer when you are making a cup of tea or when you are making a cup of coffee, you are standing in front of the gas stove or induction stove. See how far is the material that you have kept for making a tea or coffee. Just imagine in your kitchen and tell me how much is the motion you are wasting. Probably none. Because when you stand in front of the gas stove, in the reach of the one hand, you have all the material kept. Why? That's how you already implemented the lean. You did not keep everything, teas in the other storeroom, or maybe coffee powder in the other storeroom, or maybe the milk in the refrigerator, which is in the somewhere outside in the hole. Even your refrigerator will be within your hand or reach of the hand. So you already implemented the lean because you cut down the motion here. Only thing that we do not recognize those examples. I'm not sure how many people were able to imagine that and how many people will say, yes, we have already cutting down the motion. Fridge we can, or the refrigerator we can keep in the other hall or the other room, but I'm keeping in the kitchen because easily I can access that. Why? Because I want to cut down my motion. Now, another thing comes as in waiting. When your previous step is not completed and the next step is waiting for the previous step output, that means it's a waiting. Many industry, let's say industry, there are a few people from the F&B as well, food and beverages here. You being a customer, you go to a restaurant and you wanted to have the food there. How the process will start? You will go there, you will find a seat, or the people will help you to, okay sir, please come and you can sit here. Then they will offer you the menu and then they will ask you, okay, please order sir. You will say, okay, can you wait for the 5 minutes and let me decide what I'm going to eat? Yes. You will take 5 minutes till the time the person will be standing, we're waiting for your decision. Now you are placing an order in 1 minute. And that person or the person who is serving you the food will say, okay, sir, allow us 20 to 25 minutes, we will serve you. So 5 minutes you was waiting when, sorry, the person was waiting when you was deciding your menu. And the 20-25 minutes now you are waiting for the food. Altogether approximately 30 minutes gone. In this 30 minutes, the place where you are sitting, are you adding any value? Neither the customer is adding and nor the provider is adding any value to the business. You are just occupying the space, and when you are occupying the space, the other people are in the queue. They cannot give that space to any of the customer. And where the waste is going? In the waiting. And if you go anyone, maybe any one of you, if you go to the KFC kind of restaurant, what is their serving policy? How many minutes they ask? Once you place the order, you have to go to the counter, you have to place the order. And after placing the order, if you do not get your order in 90 seconds, order is free. That's what the policy they have. Why they want to do in the 90 seconds? They have risk. Yes, of course, the people, they may not be able to serve the 90 seconds, but they are eliminating the waiting for the customer, so that if they are serving instead of 30 minutes, they are serving in the 90 seconds. So they are saving almost 23 minutes, 23 and a half minutes. On this 23 and a half minutes, one person who wanted to eat slowly, even that can easily finish the food. And the next customer who is waiting in the queue, they can come and sit, which means they have the higher chance of generating the revenue. Anywhere you go to the restaurant, you go to the any shop, you go to the whichever the place you are going, and everywhere you will see there is a queue. So, and in your business as well, when your previous step, the people, especially in the automobile industry who are there, until unless you are not manufacturing one product, let's say FMCG industry, my packing people or my packing machine is idle. Why? Because my machine has stopped and I am not able to do the production. If I am not doing the production, who are the people who are 3 or 4 people are working in my conveyor or the packing machine? They will be sitting idle. They won't be working. Right? Or if I am in the production, I am doing the filling of the bottles. And when somebody is feeding the bottle to the machine, the person is not available, the feeding is not happening, then my filling is stopped. There is no efficiency in the process. Now, another thing comes as an overproduction. Next phase. Overproduction means, again, anything excess you are producing. There are many things like as you produce the food item, you food the cosmetics, you food the drugs, you produce these medicines. Everything comes with the shelf life. If you are producing more than the market requirement or more than the market demand, and the product is going to the market and you are not able to sell, that will get expire. So whatever the amount of time, energy, utilities plus ingredients is because pharma ingredients are very, very costly. Everything will go waste. Everything is expired, and then you have no other option other than discarding or scrapping them. Why? Because they are expired in the market. Even the food, you never prepare the food for the 2 or 3 times. What you want to eat now, you will be preparing for that now only, because tomorrow it will not be fresh. In case you want to eat for the tomorrow the same food, but you do not know really your schedule. Maybe your friend calls, okay, chalo, let's go for the lunch outside. And yesterday evening you only prepared the food. So what will happen to that? Waste. So always produce the things, either is the information. Suppose I am talking to you and I start giving you the so many things which you are not able to relate, which you are not able to understand. That means I am overproducing the information which my customer is not able to digest. And when you are not able to digest whatever the information I am passing to you, waste for me, waste for you. My efficiency is going in that the things which is not creating any value to my customer. So we always try to avoid any kind of overproduction, either the information, either the email, either the meetings, or either the physical inventory, whatever is. Now overprocessing. Overprocessing means the things are not the right first time, which means there is a defect. Defect is what? Defect is which is the next thing. Defect means any deviation from the specification. You are making a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. You have prepared very well. You have added milk, you have added tea leaves, you have added ginger, you filtered it, and now you are taking the cup of tea to the balcony. Okay, it's raining already. Let me enjoy. You will take the first sip and you recognize, oh, I forgot to add the sugar in that. Now you will come back from the balcony, go to the kitchen, add the sugar, heat it again, mix it well, and you will go back to the balcony. Then again process you will start. Okay, now let me have. So whatever the things could have done in the right first time, you could not do. That means you have to put the extra effort in that to achieve the original condition what was the expected. So these kind of thing is called as an over processing, and this happen because of the defect. Defect means any deviation from the specification. If we are supposed to start the training at 8 p.m. India time, which means we should start. If we are starting the training at 8:05, that means there is a defect in my process, which means it's deviating from the standard what we set. If I'm supposed to make you understand Lean and Six Sigma and I'm not able to make you understand the Lean and Six Sigma, which means I'm deviating from the specification what I set. If you people appear for the exam and or by any chance, if you are not able to qualify the exam, suppose, that means you are deviating from the specification of the standard what you set, and that is a defect in the process. So any deviation from the specification is called as a defect. And the last thing is called as a knowledge or skills. Skills means every skill is not waste, it is only for the underutilized or unutilized. As last time example I was talking about, when I was talking about the capacity, design capacity and actual capacity. If you can write faster, cleaner from the right hand, then why forcefully you are using the left hand? Why you are not utilizing the capacity of the right hand? If you are good in delivering the training, then why you start doing the coding? Let's deliver the training only. If you can write faster in the hand instead of typing, and your handwriting is much more cleaner than the typing, and it's not a requirement that you have to give the handwritten or you have to give in the typed one. So why you are forcing yourself to do the typing when your handwritten is much more cleaner and the neat and clean? And the same applies for the machines as well. Your machine is designed to produce 1000 product per hour, but you are running the machine on the 5500 product per hour, though it is consuming the same utilities, same kind of electricity, same kind of water, same kind of manpower. So why you are not utilizing the machine full capacity? Because you have to deliver the product in 2 days. So that's how you are running the machine on the half of the capacity. You can produce it, and then you can shift the people and the machine and the utilities for some other uses. So underutilized or unutilized skill is called as an skill wastages. So guys, that's about 8 wastages. So what we did discuss, we talked about what is the waste means, what is the lean process, what are the 5 steps of the lean implementation. When you understand as is and the to be, in between there is a gap. That gap we classify into 3 categories. This may be value added, non-value added, or necessary non-value added in the as is process. When you talk about the necessary non-value added, the necessary non-value added may be 3M, which is Muda, Mura, and Muri. And now we understood the Muda, waste. Next thing is the variation. So for that, you have to wait for some time. Let me take the questions first, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll meet back. Any question for me? Yes, please.
Regarding the TIMWOODS point number 6, when you mentioned the over processing.
Yes.
Now, over processing, I just want to reinforce that it's not only when you have a defect, but it's a defect also in the process, not in the product itself. Like the first time you review, for example, an application or a product, and you have your comments, and that comment is final, but still you have to send it to the next level, and they still have to review the same product and give the same exact comments that didn't change. And then you still have to go into the third level that will say the same thing before you reject it or send it out of the process, like a defected product. The first person who saw it was defected, it is a defect product, so it should go out of the line. But still, he didn't take that decision and he sent it to the next level, who again said it's a defect. So this is over processing, because 2 people have wasted their time reviewing the same product and giving the same exact opinion, which is a defect, which doesn't require another third approval to say that, yes, it's a defect and it should go out of the process. So, or out of the line of production. Whereas the defect itself being produced wrong and having to rework it is a different one than over processing, in my opinion. And I just wanted to understand if my understanding is correct, or If I'm
Absolutely
missing
correct,
something.
Ella. Absolutely correct. So I will be taking you through the defect and defective difference later. What you said is yes, but my over processing start when there is a defect. So in your process, because many times it comes with the requirement as well, especially in the banking. When you are in the banking sector, so you have to have the 2 signature or 3 level of the signature of the verification of anything before you take any decision. The same applies for the many of the legal or the other requirements as well. When you are saying something, so people will just not believe until unless it is not verified by 2 or 3 people. So ideal condition as per the lean definition, it's a over processing, but that's what I have to follow because this is what my business requirement, this is what my compliance requirement. So in this case, when it is already defined that you have to have the 3 level of the verification or the 2 level of verification before you conclude anything, yes, it's a over processing as per the lean definition, but this is not a over processing for me. Why? Because my process designed or defined in such a way, and I cannot challenge that because that's the legal or the compliance requirement.
Got you. But because compliance is involved, then we will not consider it as wastage because it is the requirement. So this is the necessary unvalue adding step that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, you can see, you can try and minimize that. You can look for this. You can challenge the compliance in case yes. And you can say, okay, why we need the 3 level verification when the first level of the verification only we can do. Okay, let's try to make it to the 2 level of verification. If committee or the society or these government agency agreed to your proposal, then means you are able to reduce the wastages here.
Perfect. Okay, understood. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else, guys, from anyone? Any other question? No? So let me take a quick feedback. How we are doing means you are liking the way I'm explaining, presenting, understanding, or is there any gap between your expectation versus the actual? So I can try to minimize or fill that gap.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
I have a question regarding the earth only, the skills unutilized. So these skills are related to man or it is related to the machine?
Anything.
Okay.
Wherever you have, again, the gap between the designed and actual, and you are not utilizing the design capacity, either it's a person in simple word, either it's a machine, either it's an environment, whatever it is there, that means it's underutilized or unutilized.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So any more question, guys, from anyone? No. Any suggestion, apprehension, complaint, or feedback? You can talk about positive as well.
It's straight and simple. I was able to understand kind of it's you're doing it in layman's terms. So coming from someone like me, like I do not even understand. I actually, as I said, I had my own apprehensions. Now I believe it's really good. Like
it will be easy for you to understand, Sri Kumar. No? Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much, guys. So before we move for the next concept, we will be taking a break because for the people who are from the India, especially even for the Philippines or any other country, maybe not for the UAE people, I think, or it should be your dinner time as well. Right? So let's take a break for around 30 minutes and then we'll continue. So let's have a dinner in between or your snacks, tea, coffee, and then we'll meet back. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
great.
okay.
So I'll be putting just the break slide here on the screen. So, and we'll be back exactly by 30 minutes from now. Until the time break slide is there, which means we are still on the break. Okay. Keep watching and then we'll be back in the 30 minutes and then we'll start the session to the next. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I'll see you in some time.
Okay.
Hey people, I'm back. Everyone there?
Yes, waiting.
Okay.
Yes,
Great.
yes.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now the next thing will come to understand how your process is performing. Like as here I was calculating. So this is called your process efficiency or the process cycle efficiency. So how do we calculate the efficiency of the process? Efficiency of the process is total value added divided by the total efforts. Whatever the efforts you are making in your process is your total efforts. Either you consider as in time, man hour, number of people, and whatever. And then out of that, how much is the value added? Is your what value added means from the customer perspective. So if you take the ratio of the value added over total efforts, that is called your process cycle efficiency or the process efficiency. Suppose you have identified these three steps here. You have the value added is your numerator, and whatever is the rest of the total out of the total. Suppose total 8 hours you are working in a day. Let's say in a day 8 hours you have worked. Out of 8 hours, the productive time, either you consider your machine, you consider your human being, you consider any of the process. And that value added was only suppose 5.5 hours out of the 8 hours in a day. So your efficiency will be 5.5 divided by 8, which is only 68% was the efficiency of the process. If your machine is supposed to produce, let's say 1000 per minute capacity, 1000 per hour, actual is machine is able to produce only suppose let's say 680. So the capacity what is designed as an 1000 actually 680. So the efficiency of the machine will be 680 by 1000, which is around 68%. And then when you see my efficiency is only 68% is coming. So the gap will be 100% minus your efficiency, which means there is a 32% gap, means there is an opportunity for you that you can improve it into the optimization level or highest level of the optimum process will be 100%. That's what we identify the opportunity for the lean implementation. And whenever you see there is a gap in the efficiency, that means there is an opportunity for the lean implementation. So we'll be doing the process analysis, identifying here what are the non-value added, all the necessary non-value added, try to eliminate and minimize and take your process to the optimum level, means convert everything, your non-value added and the necessary non-value added, convert into the value added or eliminate this, then the overall efficiency will automatically improve. That's how we calculate, and this is the opportunity to identify the area of improvement within the business. That's what the high level of the lean process means. So there are many other concepts as well in the lean, which I will be explaining you. Like as I just made you understand till here at high level, Kanban, 5 years, Jidoka, Poke, tag time will be discussing later. So are we good to understand till here, or is there any doubt, any question, any apprehension from anyone in the group, so that I can take those questions before I make you understand what is the meaning of variation, which means Muda we understand. Now we are going to understand the Mura. No?
History of lean we didn't discuss.
Which one we did not discuss?
History of lean.
History of lean, okay. All right. Let me explain you the history of lean. Lean is a, generally, if you remember, in case you have heard about, the father of scientific management, Mr. Taylor, Frederick Taylor, around 1914. He was the one person who started with the time and motion studies, which is taken to the next level by Mr. Henry Ford. When Henry Ford applied lean principle first time in their industry, they have taken the time and motion. Basis on that, they try and identify that how much is the efficiency of their assembly process is coming, how far is the vendor are located, how many of the assemblies or the car assembly they are doing within 1 day or the 1 hour, what is the actual capacity versus the design capacity. So 1914, it started by Frederick Taylor. Then Henry Ford took into this, and that's how they were able to build the largest plant that was the US for the Ford motor. They were able to improve the efficiency, and the later it is commercialized very well by the Toyota Motors. So Henry Toyota, sorry, not Henry Toyota. It was named as I forgot the name, but its name was the Toyota only. The person who taken to the next level and implemented into the Toyota production system, Toyota Motors, and that's how he developed the Toyota production system, TPS. So originally lean started with the time and motion study in the 1914 by the Frederick Taylor. Then Mr. Henry Ford took it to the next level. And then Toyota production system was developed somewhere around 1970. And from 1970, the lean is commercialized and everyone is talking about the lean. And even if you have seen, there are people from the automobile industry and you people understand that better here, how the assembly or the production happen in the automobile industry. Does this, any of the automobile industry, they really produce the car or the bikes? Answer is no. They don't do any production. They just do the assembly. And how the assemblies are designed. Assemblies are designed in such a way, suppose this is your area of the assembly, production floor, like this. And you will see all the other option in the sense the other, either the vendor you call or the small manufacturing unit for the vendors. Generally assembly unit in any of the car manufacturing, bike manufacturing is hardly 5 to 7% of the workspace. What happened to the rest of the 95 or 93% of the workspace? That is given to their vendors. Why? Because they wanted to implement the lean, which means they wanted to implement the just in time. So all the vendors or all the suppliers will be just around the assembly line like this. So whenever they are supplying the material just in time, they are probably on the assembly line. You will not see the inventory for not more than 1 hour. And all these vendors, suppose one of the vendor is manufacturing the glass, another vendor is manufacturing the body parts, another vendor is manufacturing the let's say gearboxes, another vendor is manufacturing the paint, they are doing the painting and all. So everyone will be like this on the all around the assembly line, and they will be keep supplying the material in the right first time and the just in time here, so that they can reduce all the kind of wastages which is mentioned here. And this is the perfect example of the lean implementation, and which I was telling in the kitchen as well. When you're standing in front of the gas stove, each and everything you can get immediately. Why? Because you wanted to understand the wastages. You wanted to reduce the wastages. So it's very much famous from the Toyota production system. Once the Toyota came in with the Toyota production system, now each and every organization, either they have replicated the Toyota production system in their own way, or especially in the manufacturing, automobile, or maybe sheet metal and all these materials, whichever you have the manufacturing, they have as it is applied whatever the principle is founded by the Toyota. That's the history of lean. And now lean, everyone, it was started by the manufacturing, and now everyone, even in the service industry, everyone wanted to implement the lean. Why? They wanted to cut down the waste so that they can improve the efficiency of the process. All right, guys. Now we are going to talk about the variation. Variation, what is the variation? Suppose, let's say I will take a simple example. It's time to office. Every day you are starting from home and going to office. Suppose day 1 you are taking 22 minutes, day 2 22 minutes, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. Let's say if I ask you about the day 8, how much time you will take? So what should be your answer? Guys, What should be your answer?
22 minutes.
22 minutes. Yes, this is the one process. Let me take the another data for the second process. Day one, you are taking 22 minutes. Then you took around 25 minutes. Then maybe you reach in 18 minutes. Then maybe you took around 29 minutes. Maybe another was 23 minutes. Let's say here it was 20 minutes. And here it was, let's say 26 minutes. Looking at this data, if I ask you that how many minutes you will take on the next day, so what should be the answer?
Probably average of all the days.
Average of all
25
this,
minutes.
yeah. But you will always come up with the range. If you are taking the average of this data, that is coming around approximately 23 minutes. But you won't be able to say, that you will take 23 minutes only, as in the previous steps you told. You will be say, okay, I may be taking 23 minutes plus or minus 2 or 3 minutes. That will be your answer. So when in the first process here, you was consistent, and when you was consistent on each and every data point, you was able to predict as well that how much time you will take, which predictability is not there in the second process. Why? Because there is a no stability of the data, or there is a inconsistency in the data. Data has lot of variability. Because of that, you cannot predict. Today you are doing the 100 production, tomorrow you are doing 120, day after tomorrow you are doing 90 production. So day fourth, you cannot say how much will be the actual production compared to when you have the consistency in the process. So whenever there is a inconsistency in the process, that is called mura, or the variation. Variation in simple plain English, mura in the lean language. So the objective, so what is the objective of lean? Objective of the lean to eliminate the wastages. Wastages means whichever the things is more than needed or the extra we want to eliminate, then we apply the lean. What we want to eliminate the variation, then your Six Sigma will come here. So there are two processes. One, we talk about the waste elimination. Second, we talk about the variation elimination. When you talk about the waste elimination, we apply the lean principles. Or when we talk about the variation elimination, we apply the Six Sigma principles. So what we are going to learn in DMAC process of the Six Sigma, Six Sigma is all about elimination of the variation, right? And when the lean, when we talk about lean, lean is always elimination of the wastages. So what does this DMAC stand for? Anyone heard about the DMAC?
Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control.
Okay, and why we need the DMAC? I will say DMAC stand for dumb manager, always ignore customers.
I see.
DMAC stand for dumb manager, D for dumb, M for manager, A for always, I for ignore, C for customer. And when you are ignoring your customer, which means you are ignoring the symptom of the process, which may lead to the big losses. So instead of ignoring the symptom, we should recognize those systems, understand the voice of customer, and then start working towards that. That's how the Six Sigma is designed for. So that's how the VOC create a very, very important role. You will understand the VOC when I will take the example in the project charter. So never ignore the customer. And you have seen many of the industry example. Either you talk about the Motorola, which started actually the Six Sigma. You talk about the Kodak films, right? Kodak films a couple of years back, maybe 10 to 15 years back, before the digital camera came into the existence. They were the largest manufacturer. You talk about the, what is this, Moserware, the CD player, CD they were manufacturing. And now there is no competition in the market. Now there is no real film camera. Why? Because they did not change. They did not evolve with the symptoms of the customer. When the sales is going down for any of the product, this means there is a symptom, something is wrong in the process. That's maybe happen because of anything, right? And if we are not understanding the voice of customer, we are not understanding the symptom of the process, that means let's ready to the loss. And that's how the DMAC stand for dumb manager, always ignore customers. Don't do that. So what is this variation? Variation means inconsistency in the process. Variation means instability in the process. If there is an inconsistency, there is an instability. This means predictability will not be there in the process. Now, how to measure this variation? If this is the variation, how you will measure this variation? Because Six Sigma simply says, if you cannot measure, you cannot control. If you want to improve something, you want to control something, it should be measurable. So how to measure the variation? Anyone in the group who understand that, how to measure the variation? Okay, let's say sorry, come again.
By charts as well as our graphs, sheets, this variation we can take the data.
That's the next level, but before that we have to understand the basics of variation. So how do we measure the variation? What is the unit of measurement of variation? Let me ask you a straight question. Because everything we measure in there's some unit of measurement, right? So what is the unit of measurement of variation? If I ask you, what is your height? Probably you will say your height either in the feet, you will say height in the centimeter, you will say height in the meter. If I ask you for the weight, you will say my weight in kgs, you will say my weight in the pounds. If I ask you about the temperature, you may say temperature in, let's say, degrees. You say temperature in the Fahrenheit. If I ask you about the distance, you can say, okay, distance in the kilometer, distance in the miles. Now, if I ask you how much is the variation in the process, so what should be the answer?
Percentage?
Ratio?
No.
Variation is the distance from a point, which usually is the median. So
then how do we measure that?
For each one of there is no unit for it. It depends on what we're using here. So for height, we use the height measure, the height units, and then if we're using the temperature, it's going to be the temperature.
That means we are calculating the actual value. Still, we are not talking about the variation. Variation means when you have the multiple measurement for the same thing. And you see there is a difference in these values, like as here is this in the example.
Yeah, so you have to double it. Statistically talking, you have to take the you have to time it by itself to remove any negatives, and then you take that number which has no units, and then you use it to see how many units you're away from the median, which you will consider your base point, and that will tell you how much far away from the point that you want to be to.
Almost correct. Almost correct. So you use the word median. Will not be using the median. Will be using the mean when you see the distance.
Yeah.
So the unit of measurement of the variation is
the standard deviation.
Standard deviation. Perfect. This is the key to learn Six Sigma. If you understand standard deviation, you can recognize the standard deviation, you can calculate the standard deviation, which means you understand the use of the standard deviation within the process. How you recognize, how you improve. That means you 50% Six Sigma, you already understand. Because the only one thing we are going to do in Six Sigma to reduce the variation so that we will be able to bring more consistency in the process. Process will be more stable. Process will be more predictable. How? When you reduce the variation, which means we will be reducing the standard deviation, because the unit of measurement of the variation is standard deviation. If somebody asks you, okay, can you reduce the cycle time of your process? Yes, I can reduce. Maybe my assumption about the cycle time is number of days, number of months, number of hours, numbers of minutes, number of seconds. But I really do not know which unit of measurement I have to take. So then your expectation versus my actual may be the difference. And when there is a difference, there is ambiguity. That means it's a LLTT. Looking London, talking Tokyo. Right? And that's not the right case, because we want the consistency. We cannot look at the London and talk about the Tokyo. If we are looking at the London, let's talk about the London. So unit of measurement of the variation is standard deviation. And that's the only key to understand Six Sigma. If you miss to understand the standard deviation, which means you won't be able to understand the Six Sigma. As simple as that. Bottom line is that you have to understand what is the variation in the process, which means to understand the variation, you have to understand the standard deviation. So what is the standard deviation in a layman language? If I call you, it's a average of the deviations. But technically, as per the statistics, what is the standard deviation? Your standard deviation is the square root of variances. Now, square root of the variances. So before I understand standard deviation, I need to understand the variance. So what is the variance? Variance is your average value of squared deviation. As Tara was telling, you have to find out the deviation from the median. So no, we identify the deviation, but here is from the mean. So you have to take the average of the squared deviation. So square, you already know, square deviation means it's just the square of the deviation. Now, what is the deviation? You have to understand that to reach to this level. Deviation means difference from average value or the mean value. That is the deviation. So what is the average for that? Average means sum of all the value divided by count of the value is your average. And difference you are taking difference of individual value. Difference of individual value from the average is called your deviation. So let's understand with an example. Suppose if I ask you how much is the variation in your process when you go from home to office, or any transaction you are performing, any testing you are doing, production you are doing, maybe you are working the BPO call you are taking, you are reviewing the invoice, you are processing any payment, everything we can calculate the deviation whenever is the number is available. Any measurement is you are measuring the numeric format. That means we can calculate the deviation. Okay, so now let's understand. I was taking the example time to office. And let's generate some random data. Maybe you are taking somewhere 20 to 30 minutes to reach office. Okay. And here is the data which I collected for last 15 days. I think good enough. This is the 15 days of the data. So what I have to do, first thing, let's go from the bottom to top. You have to first understand the average. So many people, I think everyone should be aware about the Excel and what are the formula we use. So for average or mean value calculation, there is a formula AVERAGE. Average, you will just type and select all of your values till the bottom. You will get your average number here. So the average time what you are taking basis on these numbers, which is you see there is a variation in the process because all the bars are not same. They are going up and down. You see in stable data, on an average, you are taking approximately 23 minutes. Now what I am supposed to do next? What is the next step I'm supposed to do, guys?
And the deviation.
The difference between
Yes.
each individual time from the mean, from the average, sorry.
Yep. So this individual value in statistics we represent as an xith value. And the average we represent as an x bar. These are the nomenclature in the statistics. And the deviation means it's a xi minus x bar. So xi values are these, x bar is this. Let me copy and paste x bar till the bottom here, so that it will be easy for, otherwise I can load the formula in the Excel. So I got all my average value. Now I have to find out the deviation. So deviation is xi minus x bar. So for the first point, I have got the deviation minus 2.13. And the similar way, if I continue the same formula till the bottom, I will get all the deviation. But you will see some values are negative and the some values are positive here. Why? Guys, give me a 30 seconds. I will be back just till the time you find out the answer for this. Why there is a positive or negative values. Guys, I'm back. Did we identify why there is values are positive or negatives?
Negative, wherein the average is more than the actual time taken.
Yes, absolutely.
And the positive
because average value is always the center value. That's how we call average, because means your values, whatever the observed values are, equally distributed on both the side of the average. So values which are less than the average, they are coming negative value. Values which are more than the average, they are coming as a positive value. There is a one litmus test for that. Litmus test means the one thing you want to verify that you have calculated the deviation or correctly or not. You take the sum of all the deviation, and that must be 0. If it is 0, which means your mean is calculated perfectly and your difference is also calculated perfectly, because that's the center value, which means values what your deviation is coming positive or negative, that sum should be 0. Because your standard deviation cannot be negative. So what I have to do, in a simple word, I have to neutralize the impact of the negative and positive. And for that, I have to take the square of the deviation. Square, simple, which means multiplying the same value 2 times with each other. Like as if I take this value and I power 2, I do this. This means I'm doing the square of that. Right? And the same thing I repeat till the bottom, and I got all these squared deviation. What is the next? If I take the average of a square deviation, that is called as a variance. Because I am looking for the standard deviation, so here I have done the square of that. I got the square deviation. Now if I take the square root of that, that means I'm standardizing all these values, and that will become my standard deviation. So variance is the average of square deviation, which means if I take the average of these value, I will get my variance. And if I take either the square root of the variance, which means before I have squared and now I'm taking the square root, so I'm coming back to the same place, but values are all positive because standard deviation cannot be negative. So if I take the square root of the variance, that will become your standard deviation. And that's the unit of measurement of the variation. If I say, okay, you are going from daily from home to office, how much is the variation in your process? You will say, on an average, I am taking 23.13 minutes with a standard deviation of 3.16 minutes. So this 3.16 minute is your variation, standard variation in your process, which statistically we will be representing. And this standard deviation, each and every calculation whatsoever we are doing into Six Sigma, every calculation is based on the standard deviation. Let me understand in case any question, doubt, clarification, any one of you need in understanding the standard deviation. This is the only key, again, I'm repeating, to understand Six Sigma means you should understand the standard deviation. Now I calculated here, I explained you the manual process, which can be easily calculated with the Excel formula, but you should know from where it was coming. So like as for the variance, there is a formula VAR dot P. And you select all your individual value, which was the time to office, and it will give you the same variance which you calculated here. Similar way, you have a formula for the standard deviation as well. STDEV.P, select all of your values, and then you will get the standard deviation as well, 3.1. Exactly the same. But yes, as a Six Sigma professional, when you are going to be black belt, you should know the background of standard deviation. You should understand how we are measuring the variation. Well, the unit of measurement of the variation is standard deviation. Is this clear to everyone, guys, or anyone have any question for me? No?
I think it's clear, but we need to do more exercises.
Yeah, definitely. Exercises are needed, but yes, this is the way we find out the variation. So whenever you are collecting any data means for your process, whichever you are trying to understand, okay, how much is the variation in my process? This means first and foremost thing, when you collect the individual value, take the average of that. In case you are doing manually, you are not doing Excel. But if you are doing in the Excel, simply put the formula what I already put here, and you will get your variation. Because all the Six Sigma calculation and everything, that will depend all on your variation only. The calculation of sigma level, I will be explaining in the tomorrow session, that what is your specification, what is your left side specification, right side specification. Sometimes higher is better, sometimes lower is better. Sometimes you have the both the side specification where you have to use the nominal value. So in all these cases, how do we do this? That I will be explaining. Before that, let us understand the history of Six Sigma. So what do we remember, guys, about the Six Sigma? Anyone? How does it started?
Motorola actually started using Six Sigma.
Yes, and how the journey was there? Maybe in case you know that as well. Okay, so one day in the somewhere around 1970s or 1980s, especially in the 1980s, Motorola was very famous to make the walkie-talkie kind of thing. Even still you will see that walkie-talkie means Motorola. And they were into many of the other electronics as well. But what happened? The rejection rate of Motorola, all the market complaint of Motorola, which means the symptoms for you to recognize how the process is performing, that was suddenly increasing. They have lot of internal rework, they have lot of market complaint, they have lot of market return. So then one day, Mr. CEO of Motorola, he said, okay, if we are doing good in the market, we have a good customer base, but if we do not consider the complaints or the return or the rejection which is coming from our process, we won't be able to survive. We must do something for that. He used another word, that we have already implemented SPC. SPC means we have already implemented, we are monitoring the process with the help of statistics, but still we do not see any improvement. He said, we are monitoring the process with the help of statistics, but still we do not see any improvement. Then there was a person in the board meeting. His name was Mr. Bill Smith. Bill Smith, whom we also call as a father of Six Sigma because that was the initiation. He said, yes, Mr. CEO, we are monitoring the process with the help of statistics. We have SPC implemented. We have the control chart implemented. But this is the time when instead of monitoring the process statistically, we have to move to improve the process statistically. So just monitoring the process will not work. We have to start improving the process statistically. Then Mr. CEO says, okay, Mr. Smith, yes, I like your suggestion. Can you help us how we can improve the process statistically? And now the responsibility came to Mr. Bill Smith to develop a program to improve the process statistically. It was not Six Sigma. It was a develop a program to improve the process statistically. Then Mr. Bill Smith came along with his colleague. His name was Mr. Michael J. Harry. These both the people developed a program which is called as a MAC program. MAC means measure, analyze, improve, and control. Later, around 1996 or 97, when GE implemented, one of my friend is from the GE as well. The CEO was GE was Mr. Jack Welch. He said there is something missing in this MAC program. When they implemented Six Sigma into the GE, they found that there is something is missing. So what was missing? The define was missing here. And then he added the define as well into this. And that's how this became the DMAC program in 1996-97. Why define is important? Let me give you another brain teaser. Tell me the answer, guys. If I ask you to jump from an aircraft without parachute, what are the chances of survival?
0.
0.
Okay.
Depending on the height where it's flying.
Any other thought?
Depending where you will fall down.
Okay. Let me.
It depends on where the airplane is.
Ask you again.
No, which
what
height
are the what
where
are
we have to jump?
Okay. Let me reframe my question. If I ask you to jump from the aircraft without parachute, what are the chances of survival when aircraft is standing on the runway?
Oh yeah.
100%.
Then 100% chances of the survival.
Okay. So what is the difference in my first statement was the second statement?
Defining
You added the runways. You are specific. You define where the airplane
conditions.
is.
And we did not recognize because it's a human nature. We directly jump into the solution without understanding the problem. And that's why Mr. Jack Welch focused a lot that before you go to measure anything, before you go to propose any solution, it's important to understand the problem first. And it's a simple saying, if you understand the problem, your 50% problem is solved. And that's how its DMAC came into the existence, and the Jack Welch came with the DMAC approach. That's the importance of the DMAC, defining the problem. And now this was the MAC program developed somewhere around 1986 and 1996 or 97, when GE implemented, then it became the DMAC program. So are we clear about what is the importance of defining the problem? Anything you talk about, just random thoughts, just assumption? No. Six Sigma means data-driven decision. Data means it's a simple saying, I believe in God or get me the data. There is no intuition, there is no logic, there is no assumption, there is no word of mouth. I believe in God or get me the data. So Six Sigma is a process of process improvement statistically based on the data, or we will say it's a data-driven process improvement approach. That's what the Six Sigma means. And that's how it started. But there was because anything, whenever the newly we initiate, we always make mistake. One of the mistake made by Mr. Michael J. Harry as well there. Maybe he was right at that time, which is not applicable these days. Still people follow that. He said that sigma level of the process, what we are going to calculate, or the variation on the process, it's depend on your short-term data and the long-term data. So when you are collecting the small data, small data means less number of data points, then expectations are high from that. But as the large data you are collecting, that means the variation will increase. So I will say here is a small data will have low variation among the data point, while the large data will have the high variation. And he came up with the concept of whenever you are collecting the small data, that means you are calculating the short-term sigma. And when you're collecting the large data, that means you are calculating the long-term sigma. Anyone heard about these two words in the group? Short-term and long-term?
No.
No? Okay. So these are the two terms we use as a short-term sigma as well as the long-term sigma. So whenever you talk about the performance of any of the process or the sigma level, you must have heard about something that 3.4 defect per million. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
That means generally we call as in Six Sigma level.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Or we call as a 99.9997% of the yield.
Yes.
That is again Six Sigma level. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
No.
yes.
Yes.
That's not the Six Sigma level. Let me clear you.
9996666.
That's not the Six Sigma level, and more than 99% people are confused in the word that this is your Six Sigma level. So let me clarify, this is not the Six Sigma level. This is your 4.5 Sigma level, and I will prove it. But because your short-term sigma is always higher, so long-term sigma, if you want to see, say first thing, short-term does not exist. There is no calculation formula, neither is designed in Excel, nor a manual, neither in the Minitab. That will, anything will calculate short-term sigma, no. Every formula, every process is designed to calculate the long-term only. So first comes long-term, and then it will come short-term. Where there is no confusion, like as the hen came first or the egg came first. Like there's no confusion. It's a very straightforward. Long-term come first, and then you will get the short-term. So short-term, if you want to calculate, short-term is equal to long-term plus 1.5. You cannot calculate short-term to long-term. Long-term to short-term only you can calculate, because short-term does not exist. So what you see here, 3.4 defect per million or 99.9997% is, it's equal to 4.5 sigma, not the 6 sigma. Because people, when they say, okay, 6 sigma, because here you see the formula, short term is equal to long term plus 1.5. If 4.5 is the long term and they are adding 1.5 into this, that's how they are claiming the short term. And I'm telling short term does not exist, which means there is nothing called 6 sigma. Actually, all the performance we are doing at 4.5 sigma level only. And let me prove it. Are we clear with the concept? What is the short term or long term difference?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's understand what is actually the sigma level and how you will find out. So I will be noting down here the two formula, which is very, very important. And all these conversion of the different metrics you can do with this two simple Excel formula only. How? We are telling this as a sigma level of the process. Let's say short term, and then we write the long term. I will be proving these values to you. So generally sigma level we call 6. Why we call 6 only? Any reason, anyone? Because that is the utmost performance. Maximum performance you can expect from a process is that. So if I am telling the sigma level of a process is 6 as a short term, so long term is always how much difference?
1.5.
Minus 1.5. And the same formula, if I use here 6 minus 1.5, that will become my 4.5. And if I continue till the bottom, this is my sigma level will come. The difference, just taking the difference 1.5. Let's understand, we are talking about the DPM or the yield. If I convert this sigma into the yield, yield means the performance out of 100%. If you are consider this 100%, so how much at a 6 sigma level of a process, how much is the output you are expecting from the process? One formula is equal to NORMSDIST. Remember this. This is the formula. One is this. Another formula I will tell you is going to save your life if you are with the Excel. Because these two formula in the Excel only will be using. When you have a sigma level, find out, you want to convert this into the yield. So how much is the yield I am expecting here? You was claiming 6 sigma level means 99.9997%. And you see here at 6 sigma level, how much is the yield you are expecting? Is this 99.9997 or 99.9999999%?
99.999.
Right? And now if you want to convert this 4.5, this will give you the exact yield, which you was telling that this is my 6 sigma level. So this is not the 6 sigma, this is the 4.5. Convert this with the formula and see here the 4.5 I am taking. And now this is going to give you the same yield, which you was expecting as a 99.997%. So are we clear that what we talk, it's a 6 sigma level? No, this is a 4.5 sigma. Anyone who already understands 6 sigma or the yield or this DPMO calculation, I think now you are out of these 1% people who really understand this is the long term or the short term. And you understand that yield means 99.9997 is not the 6 sigma, it's a 4.5 sigma. Is clear, guys? Still doubt?
It's clear.
And if you just drag this formula to the bottom, you will be having the conversion of all the yield. Let me tell you how the 3.4 defect per million will come. Let's understand. So now if you have the yield, what is the definition of the defect? Defect is always 100% minus yield percentage. Correct? So if the good output is this percentage, so 1 minus 1 means on a scale of 0 to 1 or 0 to 100 scale means 100%. So that means the defect you are getting. Is this 3.4 equal? No, it's not equal to 3.4. It's 0.0000001. And here is the other values for the short term. 3.4 will come here when you are converting into the long term. One minus long term yield is this. And now if you see, this is 0.00034 or 3.4 out of a million. And you can convert into the million as well. Suppose you want to convert the DPMO. DPMO, defect per million opportunities, as in short term, or defect per million opportunities as a long term. So what I have to do to convert this yield into the, defect into the defect per million opportunities? What is the difference in the defect and defect per million? Only one word is missing, which is the million.
Multiply by million.
So you just multiplying this with the million. So short term means this value. If you multiply this million means 10 power raised to 6. And here is your DPMO will be expecting less than 1 at 6 sigma level, while you was claiming 3.4, and 3.4 will come here is equal to defect multiplied by 10 power raised to 6. And here you go, 3.4 is here. And this 3.4 is equivalent to how much sigma?
4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
So this is not the 6 sigma level. Are we clear now about the sigma level?
Yes, it's clear. But I just want to ask one question.
Yes,
why are we actually calling it Six Sigma then?
Because we do not know. It's all the how it was represented to us, how it was fed to us, and nobody questioned, and we are following the same.
Okay. Where is this 1.5 coming from?
This was coming from when I was telling here the short-term variation and the long-term variation.
Yes, but we are just adding 1.5. Is it just
no. So what Mr. Michael J. Harry said, when you will see the difference between the current performance and the expected performance. Current performance means you have collected the data currently and you are calculating, which means the small data set you are collecting. And then you are expecting the performance over the period of 6 months or the 1 year, how the process will perform. So when you go for the longer period of the data collection, so current performance versus the longer performance, if this is just because of the common cause of variation, there is no special cause. So it is expected that your sigma shift or the variation may go up to 1.5 as per his theory, and which is not at all valid statistically. But his theory was that, and because he got the first mover advantage, and that's how people are still following. But I completely disagree with that. So he said that if there is a variation, it's the natural variation in the process, the maximum difference you will see from the current level to the future level, it may go down up to 1.5 sigma shift.
But do you disagree with the number or with the logic?
Logic and number both. But if you go with the long term, like as I was telling, the maximum variation you will see in the process can go up to 1.5 sigma shift because of the common cause. If you have seen or you see or you feel that the sigma shift is more than 1.5, that means this is because of the special cause of variation. And that's how in the data we do the stability testing. If data is not stable, which means there is a special cause of variation, which means your sigma shift is more than 1.5 in the process. If you have the sigma shift up to 1.5, which means it's a common cause of variation in the process. And objective of Six Sigma, why we are doing the study of Six Sigma, we are studying to identify the special causes and fix them permanently so that I can avoid the future rejections or the variation chances. So that's the logic or the history behind that. We still follow because nobody never challenged that, or they did not come to the conclusion, okay, this is the way we should be calculating. But there is no mathematical formula, there is no statistical formula that you can calculate the short-term sigma. Everything you will first calculating the long-term, either manual, Excel, Minitab, whatever. Everywhere the formulas are designed to calculate long-term. So this was the assumption that made by Mr. Michael J. Harry, and we are still following, because we never challenge that or we do not know. That's the reason is this. So in reality, short term does not exist. Whatever we are calculating, everything we are calculating based on the long term only. So here, if you are calculating the sigma and you want to convert that into the yield, then we'll be using the formula is equal to norm S dist. I will be calculating sigma level tomorrow. I will make you understand. Or in case you are getting any of your process yield, right? And you want to convert that into the sigma level, then you will be using the formula norm sine V. Suppose you give me any random number. Any random number means the current performance of your process is, let's say, 95.76 is your current performance. Okay, 95.76%. Or you can write this as an 0.9576. Format is very much important. And now you apply this formula, norm sine B. So this will give you what is the sigma level your process is performing. This is asking for the probability, which means you are performing at 1.72 sigma, which is your long-term sigma. And here also you copy and paste this formula, you will get the same value. So you can convert your yield into the sigma very, very easy with the help of Excel. In the measure phase, I will explain you how to convert through the manual formula as well, how to look at the distribution table, normal Z distribution table, and how to take the value from there. I will explain that as well. But key is that these are the two formula. If you are already working on the Excel, you don't need to go anywhere. Don't look for any table. Simple formula. Use this formula and convert your yield into sigma and sigma to yield. So sigma to yield, you know how to convert. Sorry, yield to sigma, you know how to convert. But yield, sigma to yield, you have to first understand what is my sigma. So sigma level calculation, which I am going to explain you tomorrow in a very, very simple way. I think we are good for today, or you have still like as energy left that I can continue with this. Guys, are we good to close for that?
If you're okay with it,
see tomorrow.
Yeah, because the people, my fellows, are in the Philippines. It's
Yeah,
already,
I think we're good for today.
it's for 2 a.m. for them.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to sleep for them. So let me take a last before we close.
Okay.
How was the session, guys? Let me understand. Honest feedback, please, and let me know the opportunities where I can improve it further.
I believe it went smoothly. The beginning was very good. The only confusion happened for me is when we immediately jumped into the short term and long term before explaining, you know, the basics of the Six Sigma and the calculation and everything. So this jump was a little bit confusing, but I know a little bit of Six Sigma before, so I could catch up with you. I don't know about the others. Other than that, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, it was quite simple way, but last part was a little bit difficult to understand, but we'll get more familiar with this.
Yes. So say, guys, I'm practicing Six Sigma almost for 17, 18 years in industry. And sometime when the situation will come in front of me, even I get confused. Frankly, I'm telling. So Six Sigma is all about the practice. Do the practice. Even when you will come for the tomorrow session, you just see this table, see these two formula and do the practice as much as you can. You will be able to find out. You have the original data of your process. Generally, all these data these days we calculate in the percentage, right? See, when you have the percentage data of your process, what level you are performing. So that will gain you the confidence. Yes, this is my sigma level, and we will always try to improve it further. Because without practice, simply whatever the lecture I am giving you, whatever the best way I can explain, if you will not practice, you won't understand. You have to do lot of practice. You have to play the data with like anything.
Yeah.
Then only
Hi,
you
sir.
will understand.
Yeah. Hi, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Can you hear
please.
me?
Yes, very well.
Yeah. I request to share this Excel sheet, sir, so that we can practice on the data and formulas.
I will do. That's I was telling you in the start of the session only, that Excel sheet I'm making for you people only. I will be sharing with you, and I will be sharing it right away in front of you only. Here you go to the chat box. I will be adding the file. Batch 103, and here we go. It is there in your chat box. So I was telling people who joined from the mobile phone, they may not be able to access that, but the people who are on their laptop or the desktop, they can easily download this. Because as far as I know, mobile application does not support downloading the Excel sheet from the mobile chat of the Zoom.
Can you please share on the WhatsApp, sir?
Yes, I will send that. Once I close the session, then I will send that. So guys, again, only I heard from Tejal and Thala.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, please.
The Excel that you shared, it's not what do you call it? So tomorrow, if you add something, it's not auto updated, right?
Excel, which I shared with you, the same Excel I will be using tomorrow and day after tomorrow till the session, and I will be keep adding the tab, right tab, next tab, next tab, next tab to explain the concept. So every day it will be updated, but every day I have to share the updated one.
Yeah. So is there no like an online OneDrive kind of a thing where automatically it gets updated? Or is
No,
it
no, no. There is no option. Otherwise, if I'll go with the OneDrive and I open this on the cloud, so it will take too much of the effort and it will be too slow for me. So writing notes will not be possible in the on the cloud.
Yeah. Second question I had is, will you be giving us scenarios, or how does it work out? Like
Many.
Yeah.
Many. So like as today only I ask couple of questions, but when we'll actually till the time we are practicing the theory, there will not be much scenarios. But when we actually go into the data, when we start playing the data, start doing the data analysis, you will be full of scenarios only. Actually, I will not be doing that. You people will be interpreting all these things for me, and then I will be helping you, okay, how to interpret and how to find out the result from this.
And I have another one question, like, will this be the regular timing that we'll be following, like 8 to 11:30 IST Indian Standard Time with the 10 to 10:30 break?
8 to 11 we will follow. This is the standard time, including the break. But it's the time permits, or as the situation goes, we may extend the time. Like as today we have extended.
Problem, but my question was, will the break timing will be from 10 to 10:30 IST?
Because of today I was explaining the concept of the lean. I don't want to leave in between, so we extended for the session for 30 extra minutes. Otherwise, normal timing for the break will be India timing, like as you are starting at 8, then after maybe around 70 or 80 minutes, or maybe 90 minutes somewhere, we will be taking the break.
9:30 IST.
So approximately 1.5 hours sometime we will take the break, because today, or again it will depend the scenario. If I'm explaining something and as the concept is important, then taking the break, so probably I will continue with the concept, then we'll take the break. But yes, standard timing will be around, if you are starting at 8, then 9:30, which is after the 90 minutes of the start, will take the break.
Thank you.
All right. And this Excel sheet I already shared into your WhatsApp group. I did it. So let me take in case any question for me, guys, before we close for the day.
Sir, I have one suggestion. Like when we have the concepts, we have a lot of examples and we are going slow. So when I think if 50% is all about mathematics, so whenever we come to these parts, if these are also kept a bit slower with some more examples, I think it will be easy for the participants to imbibe the knowledge you are giving.
Sure, Manish. So whenever in case you feel that I'm going fast, please note me there only and ask me to slow down the speed. One,
sure.
Expectation. Second, in case you feel that the questions, example which I'm explaining you feel that example is not relevant, or you did not understand, you need further explanation, you need your industry example, please ask me there as well. Because I may not be knowing that you understood or not understood. Otherwise, I have to ask personally to everyone. So instead, I would request you people to tell me that, okay, you did not understand this example. You want to understand a different example which is relevant to your industry. I may be asking a couple of questions from you, and then I will be able to create an example on that, on your situation. But for that, you have to please just ask me for that.
Sure. We'll do the same. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I would expect from you people. So if you are not telling me that, probably I may not be knowing what my customer wants. So I will be understanding from you only the situation, and then I will be creating the example.
Right, we'll proceed like that.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anything, guys? Anything other than this? Any question, any apprehension, any feedback, any suggestion? No? All right, guys.
No.
Thank you so much for your time and patience today. I'll see you again back tomorrow, same time. Till the time, bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.
sir.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.